My fear gets the best of me. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Saw you in that red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead.
It's time for day 2 of the Rocket League Championship Series Spring Major, live from the Copper Box in London. A return to these hallowed grounds means one thing: great Rocket League gameplay is about to resume. We had day 1 yesterday, and it was a doozy. Day 2 promises to be as good. I'm hopeful for that one here. I'm Wave Punk, joined by CJ, Yummy Cheese Man, Johnny Boy, and Jorby here for your pre-show. We'll have the games kicking off here in 28 minutes and 29 seconds. But for now, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday and get you guys set up for today's action. CJ, how you feeling?
I think I woke up this morning, I was thinking, like, what is happening? Like, can this get any Did yesterday happen? You know, thinking like that. It was
Was that
crazy.
Who wrote the script?
Who wrote this script? We always
Gibbs.
say every event just gets crazier and crazier, but this one was just something else. So day 2, surely we get a bit more of a normal day today. Or do we?
It's also Australia Day here, the Australia takeover the desk. Johnny
OCE
boy.
day.
OCE Day. Well, there's
That's
no.
right. Hey, no, you're looking at me as if I'm not part of that, but actually,
There you go.
I got.
Will you
part
give
of
us your
Optic,
best
so-
Aussie accent then?
All right.
Johnny?
And yet you're still somehow outnumbered on the desk.
Oh, no, g'day, mate, for us. Oh,
Jorby, you're not going to give us your best Australian accent?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
That just bails on that
No,
one.
I really want to hear it.
Good I might.
Crikey, that was pretty good. All right. So, how did day 1 go? Let's talk about the action here. The crazy, we got the OC people on the desk. It's an Australian takeover, but my goodness, the story of the day was the South American region and the gameplays we saw from them. We can take a look at our bracket. Oh, actually, you know what? We can talk about the bracket. We'll talk about the bracket in a second. I'm changing things up on the wonderful people that put this show together. Let's talk actually about the crazy games that happened here. The ones that went to Game 5 here, CJ. Carmine Corp and G2 was a wonderful surprise.
I mean, G2, they put up that poster with a suit saying, you know, no time to choke, or no time to throw, and they got reverse swept. It was unbelievable. 2 reverse sweeps yesterday. We saw it all in G2 that have to be, you know, feeling that one. That was the one that got away to get into the top 6, and now they're down in the lower bracket.
Yeah, just remove the no from the beginning for G2. But Carmine Corp, what a story for them. Itachi's first LAN, Nolly's first LAN. Astral finally coming back and proving himself, and they have a very good chance of making it all the way through the upper bracket now because everybody else is out.
Yeah, the upper bracket's looking very ripe for the taking. I mean, everybody's going to fancy their chances in this thing because meanwhile, we had Falcons making a run, and they're in the upper semis as well. They've taken down Team Liquid in round 1. They've taken down FaZe in the upper round 2. And, you know, after seeing how they came back against Liquid, and after seeing all the other upsets in the day, this was, in fact, one of the lesser surprise, if you can even call this a surprise.
It really just felt like it was what we've been saying about Falcons and Mina for so long, just finally coming to fruition. And really, it was just one game that you felt like they were struggling against Liquid. After that, Falcons have been almost dominant. Even the series against FaZe, you never felt like Falcons lost control of that
We all
series.
knew, right, Johnny boy?
Yeah.
Been telling people for years, but finally, I think I can stop telling people. Everybody's just going to believe me now.
Here's that bracket I promised our lovely viewers at home. You can see the absolute carnage that happened in the quarterfinals there, dropping so many of our top seeds, CJ, here to the lower bracket. But the thing that jumps to the page to me was in that round of 16, BDS, Team Secret, not a single game going to the European #1 seed.
They didn't show up. I mean, that's it. That's all we can say about that series. They just didn't show up. Credit to Secret though; they were phenomenal. They look fast, they look mechanical, and they really prove themselves. And it's all about how you perform on the day. So you cannot take anything away from Secret. But BDS, you know, what was that? What did we witness?
Crazy. I don't know what on earth happened because, like you said, Secret were definitely playing very well.
Yeah.
But BDS were atrocious. They were absolutely appalling, and they've had one day now to fix that. They better come in with something special today because they've got many, many levels to ascend if they're going to make a run.
Well, I think Secret have also been completely underrated. Even in the last event, it was their first event.
Yeah.
Super nervous. They got better and better. They went Game 5 against G2, the champions. This time they didn't have that worry about nerves coming in.
Well, and Jorby, as we continue to look at this round of 16 here, what was crazy was that match of BDS versus Team Secret was happening simultaneously to Furia versus K-Corp. We've fully expected inverse results for Sam in that round, and yet 0-3 from Furia. They're a sweep for K-Corp.
It's funny how that works. You know, Furia came into the Winter Major as the SAM 2 seed, and then got to top 6. Secret come in as the SAM 2 seed and outperformed BDS. And while they didn't really play that well against Space Station, they really weren't out of that series as much as people might think, despite a 4-game scoreline.
Jorby was casting. We all know he's a huge Furia fan. He is getting more and more depressed, and then all of a sudden he finds out Secret at 2-0 up, and he's dabbering.
Yummy
he's
literally
ready to
hands
go.
me a card that says Secret 2-0 BDS in the middle of my cast, and my eyes just popped. And I was like, oh, okay, it's not over for South America.
It wasn't.
You predicted the wrong team.
So much to process in this bracket. We'll pull it back up a little bit later and talk about some of the other matches that happened there as well. But for now, let's talk about the best moments from yesterday. The top 3 plays, kicking things off with the gameplay from the MENA region here. The Falcons, Ahmad, off the ceiling, Johnny. This was nuts.
I mean, we already know he's gonna get the most clips. It's just a fact. We're just waiting to see what he's gonna do next. But ridiculous recovery, dusting AJ to the ball. and finishing it off, just slotting it bottom corner, knowing he could bounce that one in. Just classic Kamad. He's going to finish this LAN on any line he plays with more clips than anyone else.
Seems to be the human highlight reel of the Spring Major, but then there's Chicago with the nice little bicycle. Oh, it's beautiful. And a great shot from Chicago here. I mean, that one, how do you defend that as it pops up over you? It's excellent from Chicago.
What's he doing back post as well? I mean, he's just hiding back. That's one of my moves. You hide in their back post and they don't expect it.
Oh my goodness. Well, number one on the day going to be Miss double tap out of the corner. Is this a better goal than the last one we just saw, CJ?
I just wish it went in on the full. Obviously, it did have to get a follow-up, but that was crazy. It reminded me of Rise back in LA, the angle off the corner, and these are getting more and more common, but missed. He was probably the shining light, you'd say, of Optic yesterday, where the other two, didn't quite perform.
Well, Vitilia is the villain, right? He keeps saving all these awesome shots, but at least it goes in the end.
For sure. Well, those are our top 3 plays from the day. If you enjoy what you saw there, keep it locked right here on twitch.tv/Rocket League, or if you're watching us on YouTube there. We're going to have more top plays coming at you here in just a moment as soon as we get the gameplay started. But while we're here in London, all these players thinking about the Spring Major, they're obviously trying to win this tournament here, but Worlds is on the table. Earning points, earning spots for Worlds. So important to these players. For many of them, it's where their mind is.
Worlds is definitely the biggest event for me because it's been my dream to play in it, and it's just like amazing, and I just want to win it.
This is the biggest event Rocket League has ever had, and one of the biggest prize pools, if not the biggest. So I think this is going to be a huge, hopefully, cornerstone for Rocket League Esports. And I think with a good event, this can hopefully skyrocket the game.
It's the biggest tournament Rocket League has to offer, and just making it would be amazing.
Let's go! An experience that you can't get it anywhere else.
Worlds is all this season's led up to, it's been our final goal. It's going to be the biggest tournament I've played in so far, and I can't wait to get on the stage and play.
It's the biggest event in Rocket League for a reason. It's massive, and it's the biggest thing. It's what everybody shoots for as a pro player. It's where everybody wants to be.
You win this LAN, this person wins this LAN, but a world championship, it's like the grand trophy.
There's a way in which that means more this season than ever, CJ, given how long that we are moving to the year-long format we're playing now.
Yeah, 1 year between, but also, we've only had our first event with crowds last event as well, so it's been a few years without that. Having a World Championships, it'll be the biggest crowd we've ever had in Rocket League history. I cannot wait.
And 2 weeks. 2 weeks of action. 24 teams for the first ever time. Every region, Sub-Saharan Africa will be at their first ever LAN too. It's going to be special.
Insane. I mean, I think the crazy thing for me is that it's so close to where we're at right now. We're talking about London, and then not far in the future we got Worlds as well. So definitely don't overreact. London's double elimination. If your favorite team's down lower bracket, Worlds just around the corner. This is a learning experience for a lot of these teams. Yeah. It's a learning experience for the young players who are coming in and playing in front of a crowd for the first time. So that is going to really help, I think, having these back-to-back LANs, especially for the newer regions who are going to learn so much from this.
Well, let's talk about getting to Worlds too, because for many teams there is still a certain degree of uncertainty as to whether they're going to be able to play there or not, making it to the wild card. And I believe we have a leaderboard here, Johnny. You can walk us through of how the leaderboard how does the world spots work?
Well, you can see asterisk beside 5 of those teams there. They've qualified. So EU won, NA won. That means that the NA team and the EU team with the most points within their region at the end of this event this weekend, they're qualified to Worlds automatically. They don't need to play wildcard. NA2, NA3, and EU2 are also in. It's those final 3 spots, 6, 7, 8. They're being fought for. And look at MENA. They're in there right now. That's because Falcons are in the upper bracket. But you've got to look out for SAM1, who are currently on 780. So is EU3. So that you're looking for EU teams in the lower bracket, SAM teams in the lower bracket. Even OCE1 are within range. So it's all about who can make that lower bracket run and get into the top 8, because 8 teams are qualifying to Worlds directly, and they bring more teams from their region with them if they can do that.
There's even a chance here that we only get 2 EU invites. There is a possibility for
Let's
EU3
go.
to get knocked down.
Let's go. That's my
Let's
region.
go. The crazy thing is
EU
NA4, if you're looking at the NA4, what that means is if NA4 finish off in this leaderboard in the top 8, we'll show it throughout the weekend to see how it's updating. That's literally complexity. That's complexity.
Yeah.
So if NA4 make it in, their complexity go to wildcard. If Sam 1 make it in, the club, the number 3 team from Sam, go to wildcard. If MENA, if they make it in, number 3 team from MENA go to the wildcard. So you're looking at these teams back home. Really, they're rooting for their region to do well. EU3, by the way, that's Semper. They're on the brink. Semper right on the brink of losing the wildcard spot if EU can't get 3 teams in the top 8 this weekend.
And CJ, as an OCE player, as we started to talk about OCE here, like what does this mean for your region and the way you guys are thinking about each other?
Well, not great, Yummy. Obviously, at the start of the season,
knives are out.
At the start of the season, we obviously all wanted our teams to, we're rooting for each other because we wanted to get that extra spot. But now we're here at Landon, the last major. It is just every man for themselves.
Yeah, it's always been a weird thing where there's 2 teams, so you either want the team going, if you're another team, to do really well to earn another spot, or do really badly so they don't get enough points to overtake you. And even yesterday, with Power and KCP, they were trash-talking each other after their losses. They're at each other's throats because they're the 2 right now fighting for LAN. And CJ's in that advantaged position. He doesn't have to have any best of 7s
My
to
boys,
play to
Yummy.
get there.
If Power can't win, if Power can't beat Liquid, they need Pioneers to lose today as well. Because if Pioneers win today and Power lose, then it's going to be Pioneers and CJC Renegades. They're going to be the teams who are going to the World's Wildcard. So if you're a Power fan like me, because I got them in the random draw, then we need them to win, or we need Pioneers to lose. I'm sorry, Pioneers.
I've never seen CJ cheer for international teams so
Oh,
much.
don't make it. No.
You all don't like each other, do you?
I'm talent this weekend. I'm forgetting about all that. I'm just going to I've got out of line.
Nah.
I mean, if Reddit's taught me anything, talent are completely unbiased at all times. Let's take a look actually at the bracket here to show you guys kind of what the situation of the OCE teams is, because this is a frustrating situation to say the least. I feel like for the OCE teams, Yummy.
So just to reiterate, right now Renegades are in the lead on that points, but Power overtake them with 1 series win over Liquid, and Pioneers take over with 2 series wins. The only other situation is if Power do not win, then KCP have to just get 1 win.
And I think Amphis is trying to reverse psychology me, because I was speaking to him this morning, and he still is convinced that Liquid are going to win the whole tournament.
What?
Wow. And then he's like, behind us, of course. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because they're playing for the favor. Yeah, I'm not sure that sort of mindset.
Also, if you were Pioneers, you're like, okay, we got Secret in the lower bracket, we'll be fine. We'll maybe have V1 in the second round.
Nope.
They got scammed.
The
Pioneers got scammed.
That still might work out for them. Like, Pioneers look good against Space Station. And honestly, the last time they played BDS in the Winter Major, it went 5. Pioneers almost reversed BDS.
But the reward is you get to play Moist.
That's the bad one, because Moist I don't think looked bad yesterday. BDS looked shockingly bad yesterday.
Yeah.
Moist were not bad at all. V1 just, outplayed them. So that's the one that Pioneers will be scared about tomorrow. Even if they make it there, they might need to win there to make Worlds, which is going to be such a tough series.
The reason this is Australia Day is OC is the only region with no confirmed teams yet. Power versus Liquid, Power versus Liquid is going to be our first match. That is a match for Worlds. And if they don't win, it makes Pioneers versus BDS a match for Worlds.
It's just the OCE luck as well. Look at the 4 teams that they'll be coming up against in that lower bracket. That is a legitimate top 4 pre-major prediction.
It actually is, yeah.
That is, wow.
It's ridiculous. It is quite the situation, quite the story for everyone to follow as we continue on through the day. We'll be playing those lower bracket matches here in just 14 minutes. We'll be getting the first one started there. So let's play a game, though. Let's play a game now that we played yesterday on the pre-show. We're going to be talking through 3 opinions that all came from a single individual member of the talent team. We up here do not know who that person is, and we'll reveal who it is at the end when we'll be taking some guesses here. So opinion number 1 from this person, SSG will go 0-2 in front of the crowd. So they're predicting that Space Station will make it to the final day. Well, obviously they've already made it there, but they're not going to win any more games.
That means that they're just just losing their next 2 series.
Yes.
So lose to Falcons, lose lower bracket. That's who could that be?
I
That's
mean,
not
that feels like
Robiz.
not a North American.
Definitely not a North American.
You don't think it's a North American?
I'm a believer in SSG
Well, actually,
in
I
front
could
of
see
the crowd.
I could see Corelli having that opinion, maybe. Space
Corelli?
Station. Space
what is
Station
it,
had a ton of
anti-NA?
fans. In,
But who thinks SSG are going to be bad in front of a crowd? Like,
I mean,
I
certainly
don't know.
certainly
It
don't
doesn't
think
even mean
so.
to be that. It
Yeah,
doesn't need to be that though.
lose
They could just lose. They're playing Falcons,
Yeah.
which is after yesterday.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
feasible.
bracket's
Lower
pretty rough.
brackets.
I can see Stumpy
stacked.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm locking in
Yeah,
Shogun.
Stumpy
I'm locking
good.
in Shogun early. Just
All right.
so for the
Shogun.
end.
Let's put out the
Ooh.
second opinion here. All English players make crowd days. Okay, so now I feel the fact that this person knows who all the English players are means I feel
Yeah,
like
that's-
this is
Cole or
this-
Stumpy.
That's British.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
narrow. Maybe,
Yeah.
Who else is going to believe in Endpoint to make it? Let's be. Actually, they don't have the worst
yeah, it's
bracket. They
Endpoint.
don't
That's
have
a
the
really
worst
good
bracket.
point.
I'm
Yeah.
leaning towards Cole after that, I think.
Yeah, Cole's where I'm
Okay.
leaning as well.
Well, let's see. The last one is that Ahmad is going to be the MVP of the tournament.
This is they've done well here.
That's
They've
That's
covered
the
their
throw off.
trails.
That's the throw off
Yeah.
right there.
They've
I feel
covered
like
their
that-
trails very
That to me doesn't
well.
help anything because everyone was on Falcon's train. After
Which is
the
why
game
anyone could
yesterday.
have that opinion.
Anyone
That's
could
why
have that
it's good.
opinion, exactly.
Yeah.
So, do we want to? What guess
I
do we
wanna
want to
go
lock
Stumpy,
in?
not Cole.
Stumpy,
I'm saying Cole.
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 I think Cole.
I'm gonna say
not bad.
Gregan just to cover our English bases here. And let's go talk to them. Who is it here? Let's bring them on the field. It is Gregan. Gregan. So man, Space Station. Why the hate?
I mean, it's more just the bracket. They've got Falcons, and then that lower bracket is really tough for them. They weren't too convincing on the first day, but I feel like they're known for being the crowd team, and this is going to be the one time where it doesn't go in their favor.
But Ahmad though, so not TRK.
I just thought Ahmad was unreal. I just feel like when you see a player like that playing that well on their first day on LAN, it's only going to get better. I genuinely think he's going to be the most scary player we've ever seen.
So you don't have enough faith in Secret? You just think Endpoint are going to roll over them, Gregan?
I mean, Endpoint, I feel like they need to get to the crowd. We need that English representation here. I almost
It's
think
a
that-
dream.
Yeah, it's belief rather than necessarily thinking it's actually going to happen. But I do think the English players are in a good spot to make it to the crowd.
I understand the belief angle. You know me and Furia, so.
So you're also thinking that Falcons win the entire thing?
Yeah, Falcons win. I think we're going to get all the English
Wow.
teams making it. Obviously, Nolly's already there. Endpoint and Moist make it through that lower bracket.
Okay.
I guess we could also say Oski on Liquid making it through as well.
Oh
so
wow, that's
They're gonna beat G2?
that's
That's a lot.
prediction.
They're gonna beat G2?
I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but he could be considered in that English player.
Just covering all the bases here. Love to hear it, Gregan. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. See you out there today.
Wow.
So,
It'd be crazy if Liquid beat G2.
Yes,
wanted to
I agree,
snipe
though. I
that.
agree.
I knew it was Gregan from the start. Anyways,
That was a good call, Wave. Good
Thank
call on
thank
you.
Just,
Well
just,
done, well
just
done.
to be
I
safe
just
here.
think like the most British, I guess, was Cole in my mind, but I did forget about Gregan.
We can. I can't.
We all forget.
Gregan's my baby. I can't forget about it. Let's
Sorry,
talk.
Gregan.
Let's take a look at the schedule. Let's move on to talking about today and how things are going to be. Looking at the bracket again. Okay, you can look at the upper bracket, enjoy it there for a second. Now forget about it. We're not going to think about that for 2 days here. We'll get back to that one once we have fans in these seats. That lower bracket is where the matches are going to start. We're going to cover all of those lower round 1 matches today. All best of 5s, 4 teams going home out of the 8 teams. We're going to start off, or we'll start off the day with Furia versus Gladiators. We'll have Liquid and then take on Power. BDS going up against Pioneers. Endpoint going to be taking on Optic.
This is our day, Yummy. This is OCE's day. We spoke about it pre-show. We'd rather OCE's day be Championship Sunday, but, you know, not sure the first elimination day should be our region's day.
Hey, well, we got to Thursday. Last time we got to Fridays.
Yeah,
Actually, we got
we're
to Saturday.
regressing.
We got to Saturday last time. Actually,
We're going
3
backwards.
days, yeah.
Hey,
Oh, no.
anything can happen. If from what we saw yesterday, I could easily see both OCE teams being still alive at the end of the day. But let's talk about a match that does not involve OCE at all. We have the Gladiators taking on Furia. Furia, many people surprised that they are here in the first place, Johnny, but they got to go through the Gladiators.
Yeah, myself included. I mean, Furia, they lost bad. They were not. This was not close. They got absolutely thrashed by Carmine Corp. It was, if you look at the bracket, you see 3-0. You think, okay, well, yeah, there's a lot of sweeps. Maybe that's just the thing of the day. Yeah, they were destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
I really, it was tough. Like they weren't hitting anything. They weren't even making touches. Like Yan, who you expect to be the consistent mechanical player on Furia, he wasn't. He was missing touches left and right, and it felt like the only player that was getting anything done was Card, but it wasn't enough. The team was totally flat against Carmine.
it reminded me of the first split, where Kaio wasn't having much of an impact. We saw the Winter Major, he was in the conversation for top 15, maybe even top 10, and where was he yesterday?
I think this, though, having said the day one, it wasn't great. This is the perfect series for Furia to get themselves going, build a little bit of momentum, because I think they've had a bit of a coach change as well. I think they're still trying to get used to maybe a new structure, which I'm not sure why, considering how, well they went in LA, but...
Context as well. Carmine Corp was really
I think it's really important to point out that
They're now
Carmine
top
Corp
6.
was transcendent yesterday.
Yeah.
They beat G2 as well.
That 3-0 loss, it looks a lot better after Carmine Corp reverse sweep G2 as well.
Yan was the only person to score, though.
That's
we
true.
are glad to
Very
die.
true. They hit the bar a lot too, so if the accuracy's a little better, I mean, the series could look a little different on the
And maybe
momentum
some of those
side.
headsets won't be lasting much longer.
I did like how Card looked though, and I think if Card continues his performance from yesterday and Kaio and Yan step up, then we're going to see a different Furia overall, no matter who they're playing.
I'm optimistic and hopeful we see a different team. And then we get a competitive match. Enough 3-0s yesterday. My goodness, let's get some game 4s and game 5s in there. Meanwhile, on the other side of the pitch, making their stream debut is the Gladiators.
Hi, my name's LCT and I play for Gaming Gladiators. Being in London, it's a really big deal for us because it's our first LAN and we're really looking forward to it. I think this major, we're trying to just get in some practice before Worlds. This is like a stepping stone as it's our first LAN, so yeah, just trying to have fun and play to our best. We're gonna set up a lot of scrims these past few days and just scrim with the best teams. We're gonna start analyzing our opponents and scheduling a lot of scrims against players that are better than us, yeah. I knew Max back in the day, but it was my first time meeting OSM and Abs Crazy, so I was quite nervous at the start, but now I think after 2 days of bonding with them, I think we're getting comfortable with each other, yeah. We're unpredictable, so you'll just have to wait and see. Oh no, this is so cringe. It's our first LAN, so we'll take it as practice. Let's go, London.
Taking it as practice, but getting a few wins wouldn't hurt either. And you can see they have very much embraced being on broadcast here, Yummy.
Yeah, they are the heroes of APAC South. They've won 8 of the 9 events. And they're 3 of the best personalities from the region too. If you haven't met these guys, Abs Crazy, known for all of his interviews, the guy in the middle there, Max Yu, was one of the best players in the entire region. People talk about Realize all the time. In terms of freestyle mechanics, it has been Max Yu.
And they're certainly enjoying themselves as well. We saw yesterday against G2, when they did score in that game 3, they were screaming. I mean, that's what we love to see. Maybe they can build a little bit off that. And this team, I want to give myself some credit, Yummy. We did warm them up for the APAC final.
You did.
We did warm them up.
You did, well done.
Yep, so, they owe me one there. So let's see how they go.
Maybe they should have warmed you up for your event.
Thanks, Yummy.
Yeah, no worries. Abs Crazy, by the way, he's shown up to multiple interviews. He's the biggest character, I feel like. He's come in with a horse mask. He's come with people dancing in the background.
He's embracing it.
He's embracing it. Every clip on the channel feels like Abs Crazy. He's got the best smile in the world, and he's such a great bloke, so friendly. I'm hoping he does well. He did really well yesterday as an individual.
They've got a chance. I think they've got a chance. We saw APAC take a game against FaZe. It was Detonator taking a game off FaZe, going to overtime in one of the other games. I think Birdie also had an overtime in the fall split. So APAC's closing the gap, and I think it's only a matter of time before they really start to match, just like we've seen from MENA, obviously right up there, and Furia in the winter split right up there. OCE's not far off as well, but APAC are just that one chapter behind.
And here's LCT. He thinks of himself as the cool character. He's always wearing the chain, but we all know he can be as cheeky as the rest of them. He's always he was very worried traveling here. He's the one getting nervous in scrims. I think that's a great sign that he's getting nervous in scrims.
And we don't want to bring up scrim results all the time, but they did beat Team Secret, who then went in 3-0 BDS. So there's something there if they can pull it together.
And went even with Optic.
Yep.
They did, yeah. They went 4-4 with Optic.
That's pretty crazy too, especially because for APAC South, their first representation at a major. It just shows you how much the APAC region in general is starting to catch up.
And they're going to Worlds
John.
too. These guys will be at Worlds, so this is perfect practice for them more than anyone else.
And the Saudi land next week.
And I wonder, like, CJ, I don't know if you can, like, think back the many years to the first time coming and playing international competition.
I'm there.
When is there, like, what is that advantage? How much did you feel yourself growing as a player and as a region, getting to rub shoulders with the people you'd watched in RLCS for so many
I was a bit
years?
starstruck the first time, the first World Championships, and yeah, definitely took a lot of improvement from it because I could not hit the ball the first lane. So these guys are already improving on what I showed. So it is certainly a nerve-wracking experience, but just seeing these guys' personalities, that's what it's all about, and they're enjoying themselves, so that can help the nerves.
Well, the thing we always talk about with teams coming for their first LAN and how well they're going to perform is how good their mechanics are. And I would say that of everybody, including Tokyo Verde, including Detonator, this is actually the 3 most mechanical players as a trio from this region.
They are having such a good time. I can hear them laughing all the way up here, and they're not mic'd in any way. It's bleeding through these soundproof headsets. But okay, Jorby, let's talk for real though. Again, on the pitch, it's Furia on the other side. They had a hiccup yesterday.
Yeah.
But surely, is there any hope? What is the battle plan for a team like Gladiators to deal with a team as strong as Furia?
I think Furia struggle the most actually in the physical game. Teams that get physical against them, even when they're playing well, when their rotations are good, they don't demo other teams. So if they start getting outboxed, that's when you start seeing goals go in, and that's even in the Winter Major you saw it. G2. Why did they beat Furia? Furia's defense was insane in that upper semi, but they kept getting the demos. The majority of G2's goals were demos. What happened against Team Queso in that 7-game set? Demos. Queso, a very physical team. Furia, that is where their weakness is right now. So if Gladiators are looking at anything, I think it's that.
And I want to ask you, Jorby, with Furia, the previous majors, they had a lot on the line. They were still competing in their region for that world spot, that #1 seed. Now they are guaranteed worlds, obviously not a main event spot. Do you think that, I feel like they're a team that they need their backs against the wall. They need to have that hunger, and we hear it with their comms when they're getting up and about and they're yelling at each other. They can really get about. So I don't know about yesterday, whether they just weren't as enthused or they didn't really bring their A game that. You know when they score and they, the yelling.
It definitely felt like
got that voice.
Yeah,
that really booms. Their voices carry when they're celebrating. I think there's definitely a vulnerable Furia here, not only because they were thrashed yesterday by Carmine Corp, but also because we've seen them underestimate teams in the past. I mean, this isn't disrespect at all, but I think they underestimated you guys, CJ, in the fall split. I think this maybe not the second time.
Well, you can see here, statistically, Gladiators doing well in their own region, but LAN play going to be another matter.
This game's really important because if we don't win, we're out of the tournament, and that's going to be a huge disappointment.
We just want to win every game, so this one is just another obstacle.
Hopefully they think we're not so good and underestimate us. That'll be an advantage to us.
One of Gladiators' weaknesses seems to be they're pretty slow.
Continue to underestimate us.
Good luck. We're excited to play you guys.
Sounds like Gladiators enjoy being the underdog right now. Continue to underestimate us here. Let's actually see who is estimating them where. Let's take a look at what chat believes. Chat, get your votes in. Use hashtag FUR, hashtag GG, depending on which side of the coin you're falling on here. I'll start off the predictions myself. I think I'm going to... For me, I don't see a path where I can see Gladiators beating Furia. Furia, to me, clearly the favorites here. I'm going to go with Furia.
Yeah, well, I say everyone. A lot of people had Furia sort of top 6, at least top 8 in this event, given LA, so...
A little higher than
maybe,
top 6.
Maybe top 1, but I think that there's going to be a lot of blue in these predictions. So I'm going to go Furia as well. I think these guys, it's a perfect stepping stone in this lower bracket. There's a lot of teams in the lower brackets, but they need that momentum.
Well, it's also hashtag GG for good games. So if you want it to be a good game, go for that one.
So Gladiators.
Look, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to give Gladiators 1. I said that pre this, but I've got Furia. I've got them going a long way, and earning Sam that extra spot.
Oh, okay. That's like winning the next one as well.
I love where Yummy's going, man.
That'd be Pog, but I'm gonna go Furia. I think that Furia are vulnerable, but I don't think that I've seen enough from Gladiators yet to warrant picking them here. But I think there's going to be some good games here. I don't think they're going to be completely smoked, by 5 goals every game.
I actually think this was good for Furia to get slapped by kickoff. I do because you need this. You need to be in a vulnerable state, because if you want to go to the World Championship and you want to compete, like, you can't come in thinking that you're going to be on top against everybody. You got to be able to play in these tight situations. Start from lower round 1 again. See what happens. This is how you build a champion through the gauntlet that hurts. Yes, they got destroyed, but they definitely got.
This sounds like a Furia.
I just want to know, you're sounding a lot like Cole and Stumpy when it comes to Endpoint.
I'm a bigger Furia fan than
no.
Hey.
Come on.
Gladiators.
He's got the Gladiators in his pick. He's got to go for them.
Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. Well, let's see how chat feels. Chat actually going to be going with Turtle here. And supporting the Gladiators there. Fan favorites. Come on. They can do it. Let's get into the first match of the day here. It's going to be an elimination match, though. One of these teams going home. Not going to be playing anymore here in London. In the blue, it's Furia. In the orange, it's Gladiators. One stays alive. One goes home. Let's get over to the casting.
Jeeves, Corelli, we've got the Gladiators making their debut, and it might be the last time we see them. A lot of people favoring Furia in this matchup.
And I don't blame them. I don't think we saw full potential coming out from Furia yesterday. They only put up 1 goal in their series against KC. It was definitely not the norm coming out from Furia.
Yes, I was very excited to pull the Furia card. And then after the game, I was a little less excited. But hopefully we'll see what they do today. A lot of good things going for both teams. It's going to be almost a perfect start for Gladiators. 7 seconds in. Max, you going to turn one in.
And you love to see it with just the tackle right off the bat, just past the halfway mark, and a great way to start off with your Gladiators. They were talking about, you could see them sitting down there. They were smiling, they were having a lot of fun, and I think that goes a long way for teams that are trying to get into a tournament like this. The Des mentioned it, we've already mentioned it's their first time here, and getting that first goal right off the rip, it's got to feel good.
Solid start for Gladiators. The desk not really giving them a chance. And you heard in the interview with the Gladiators, they're looking at this as a stepping stone, something to learn from as they go to the World Championship. Both these teams guaranteed spots at the World Championship.
We'll see if Furia is able to keep that spot. There is potential for South America to only have 1 guaranteed spot. And if Furia win this, they would be the #1 team in South American points, which would secure their spot. So it's really a matter of how many teams go for Sam, and a win here for them would at least make sure it's them.
So far, Furia in the same region fighting from behind. Hit upfield by Maxu. Abs crazy, low boost, 0 boost to be precise, has to watch. The defense comes off the back wall, and now LCT will have boost to challenge, but Card is there first. Solo play chance.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
oh my.
Almost getting the double.
And that's twice now. Yan has had a lot of space above Gladiators inside of their own box or on their own side. And they're going to learn very quickly that you can't give Yan that much space. Here they come again, Furia utilizing the airspace on the Gladiator side so nicely here and setting up very dangerous chances.
And there's the bump, wide open net. That bump off the backboard, you saw it coming, brilliantly executed, and that's a tie game.
Very brief discussion about physicality on the desk before the match. You see it come to bear some fruit here. Furia finding a nice way to even up the score after allowing a 7-second goal. Very well executed, and good to see them find their footing here.
It was a great start there for Gladiators getting that first goal, but you can really see Furia starting to take over as Abs Crazy going to get a demo there on Card to stop the attack, but you really got to slow down how much possession Furia have, especially through the sideline and in the air right now, because Furia just seem to have so much time and space to work with.
A lot of boost as well. You saw Yan get the corner boost steal from the Gladiators side. And look at all this space. Yan to an air dribble. Abs Crazy gets the bump. LCT trying to take it to the corner, but it's stopped by Card, who goes for the 50, but couldn't win it back.
Gotta be careful if you're Gladiators. They're playing a dangerous game. If they lose some of these challenges, their defense certainly not positioned the most optimally. Is here again. Really tough fight for Abs Crazy. It's Card one-on-one, and Maxu, huge stop coming out of the net.
That was pretty smart from Maxu because it wasn't really guaranteed that was going to come across, but Kaio going to get it in the end. Furia back up by 1.
I mean, that whole play started when Apps Crazy decided to go for the mid boost instead of challenging that ball, and that gave Furia possession in their half. Yeah, it was a great save, doing the wraparound, the squishy save, but ultimately that pressure culminating in a goal for Furia. Now we've just passed the halfway point. Kickoff chances, rebound out to LCT.
There it is.
The bump, and now we're all tied up again. Gladiators respond.
That is LCT's first goal. Welcome to the Major. Glad to have you on the list. You couldn't ask, just get big. And Gladiators locked in. A little smile for him. There you go, you earned it.
Well, they're smiling right now, but Apps Crazy, he was into that goal right there. He was leaning forward, he was yelling, he was excited. And they said, you know, we're here to have a little bit of fun, but they are serious about these matches, and Gladiators definitely earning some respect here against Furia.
Now Kaio up to Card. Card!
What?
Threatening the bump. Did Maxu get bumped as well on their retreat as we take another look on the replay?
I'm pretty sure there were 2 Furia players.
Yeah,
No,
well,
wow, maybe with another camera. I don't know. Either way, though, absolutely threw him off the scent. Maybe he got pushed, but Furia, take what you can get.
Clearly not what they intended there from Gladiators.
We weren't equipped with all the camera angles necessary to decipher what happened on that play. But we do know Furia now in the lead. Less than 2 minutes left to go. A strong start from the Gladiators, but it's starting to slip through their fingers.
But you did make a good point earlier, Corelli. Gladiators definitely putting up a pretty stiff fight. It's not like Furia's kind of just running all over them. And Furia felt pretty confident if you caught anything from the VT. They thought Gladiators were kind of slow. And while they've definitely given up a lot of space, I don't know if slow is necessarily how I've perceived this one.
Well, I think very counterattack oriented here from Gladiators, especially with what they're feeling from Furia in the pressure department. They are spending a lot of time on their own side, but when they are able to push downfield, it's been quite fruitful for Gladiators, and they've really given Furia a run for their money.
But now Yan taken all the way downfield past all 3 Gladiators players. Furia, the shot from Card, that will be saved. Now another shot, Yan putting Furia up by 2.
Not fair. I mean, this is just great positioning. Yeah, Card just going to float out here to the side. He knows the shot can only go one way, but it's actually Yanks who's following, can see the positioning, just gets all the way around the ball. Not easy to square that one up with pace, but double commit on the goal line, pulls Gladiators defenders out of position. They get jumped all over for it.
And now a chance off kickoff. But Card shutting the play down, though Apps Crazy did get a piece of it. Maxu can't get the follow-up touch. It's a nice center ball, but as you saw, both Gladiators players flip into the corner.
Very far pushed up there from Gladiators, but you know, they could see the physical game coming out and paying off there for just a split second. Unfortunately, couldn't put anything across the box. Still threatening, though, as that one comes off the ceiling. Follow-up was there, with the defense able to poke it away.
Ooh, and a team bump as well. That's going to make things difficult on the back end. Wide open backboard. That one bangs off the crossbar. But you saw the panic, and it was all stemming from that team bump on the rotation back.
They are trying to get out in front of the play, though, leaving some touches, letting that first player go and attack the ball, trying to open up some gaps in that Furia defense, maybe find a way back with 10 seconds left here, but unlikely. Oh, especially with all that time by. Jeez.
Card going up, getting a flip reset, didn't really pan out, but they're happy to melt that time off the clock. A very dominant game won by Furia. We saw Gladiators strike first, but ultimately Furia's offense was able to prevail over that Gladiators defense.
And you were finally able to see some offense. They only put up 1 goal against KC yesterday. Here today, able to put away 4 in their first game against Gladiators. But again, I got to hand it to Gladiators. There was great opportunities there on the counterattack to take advantage of Furia, because I don't think their defense was completely sorted out here.
Yeah, and we saw a couple times where they got tangled up with each other. There was that one shot where we were trying to determine if they got bumped on the way back. The net was open. But, you know, Corelli.
This is it. Yeah, he comes out of the corner. Yeah. I was pretty sure. It's like, hang on, there's no way he just jumped to that and couldn't get to it.
And sometimes you just need that extra camera angle to know what's going on. But also, you know, both of these teams, Corelli, you had mentioned scoring a single goal. You know, Furia and Gladiators, both only a single goal in their series. So someone's going to have to get some momentum going from this. We saw Gladiators have a strong start. But Furia is a team that has been hyped up specifically by Jorby, who has them.
Oh, me too. I liked him too.
Yeah, and then also top 6 in Los Angeles. Yeah. So, you know, we expect a lot from them, whereas Gladiators, this is our first real glimpse of them now on the main stage. And I think they put up a performance to be proud of, but defensively, that is where they needed to figure something out.
That's really where it sticks for me, too. That communication and having to deal with the international level of competition, right? Because there's something to be said for, you go out, you win your region as one of the best teams in APAC, and then you have to come and play against some of the fastest, most difficult to defend offenses in the world, and you got to make a small adjustment. And there's definitely a little bit of room of improvement here for Gladiators as Furia open up game 2.
And again, just a lot of space here from Furia and just not getting to the ball fast enough from Gladiators. And Furia, they're such a quick team. Talk about the speed coming up from South America. They will go for everything. And when that ball comes close to the ground, especially with that much time coming from the ceiling, Furia gonna take advantage.
And also, if you're Maxu, you're thinking, maybe that's going to be a ground pinch shot, but then the shot came out, caught out of position, 8 seconds in already. You're seeing the damage Furia can do. A double commit on the back line. Yan, pinch up, gets bumped. If he's able to dodge that bump from LCT, maybe had a solo play there. That ball ping-ponging off card. Kyle, great speed, demoed out of the air. Nobody makes contact.
Oh, boy.
Oh, unlucky. Okay. I was about to say, you missed some of those challenges. That's what I was worried about. And you find yourself in some less than enviable positions. Gladiators have managed to recover nicely, though.
You can see how dangerous it is for Furia. A lot of balls coming across the Gladiators box where they're keeping control of it, keeping the attack on and not letting the Gladiators out. Right now, though, a good attack. And unfortunately, Maxu couldn't get behind it far enough, and Furia able just to lob it downfield.
That's crazy, going for the dribble out. LCT will have some time. Goes for the flick, but it's stopped by Kaio. Solo play perhaps, flip reset, but that's shut down by Card.
And one thing that we were saying in the intermission as well is it really is a battle of expectations, right? Furia coming from the Winter Major, I think there's higher expectations for them, not only by fans, but from themselves, right? With the performance that they put on. They expect to push top 6 again, and right now, well, they're on their way. They get their second here against Gladiators.
And this is a tough ball to defend. You see Card, the back pass, LCT thinking maybe he's got some time, but doesn't. Maxu retreating back, needs to get a touch on that ball, and with him flying by, a wide open net for Furia, who have had a strong start. They scored 8 seconds in. It seemed like they were dominant based on how they finished game 1, and they're really carrying that over to game 2.
Can they get that?
Called him off.
Okay, I was about to say the movement there from Furia on the ball was absolutely stunning. Little dish into the middle, instantly ran up the side wall to give themselves another passing outlet with a big cross across the field. They're really trying to spread out Gladiators, and it's generating some great opportunities on target.
Said the Gladiators can do with this ball. Abs crazy by 1, doesn't have enough boost to get back to the ball. LCT up, a pinch opportunity. Now that would have been a highlight.
You could see the setup from that one. The pinch definitely, if they got the right angle, was going straight into the net.
Now Yan taking his time in the corner, flip reset pass. LCT tip up and a demo. Numbers advantage potentially.
They are trying to go so aggressive still.
Oh no, low boost side flips. The low boost side flips, that can be dangerous, especially defensively. There's a weak hit to the middle LCT, something in between a pass and a shot. Now the 50, that one bouncing back to the corner. LCT trying to get around it, but Kyle right on him. Furia not giving them any time on these 50s.
It's the right play for Max. You just come across and punt it down the field. You need the space. You have to have the room to breathe because you have been losing a little bit of that boost control battle. James, you brought it up in the first game. The blue steals in the corner, and this time almost getting caught out again, but still just able to hold on.
And I like what we're seeing from Gladiators, at least on offense. They're really gung-ho about pushing it down, and hold on, they gotta make another save.
Wow.
As Furia can't break through, but Gladiators, I mean, they really throw everything at Furia when they move down the field, especially inside the Furia box. You can see all of Gladiators crashing it, and unfortunately, haven't come through yet here in game 2, as they're gonna have to field this shot. Yan wants another touch, and no one there to follow up for Furia, but he's still getting touches somehow, and Gladiators do get out for the moment.
Maxu and LCT both going for it. Lots of rebound opportunities for Furia. Abs crazy in his own corner, trying to get it past Yan. Yan will tip it up. LCT doesn't make contact. The dribble control. Yan with some precision turning there, almost taking it to the Gladiators.
Yeah, he really could have scooped the defense, but now an opportunity. Everyone going the shot on target, and it's blocked by Card. Gladiators, another good look, but turned away.
But how do you score this one is the problem, or defend, I should say. He almost got caught again, too far forward, but 45 seconds left. There's been some decent counterattacks from Gladiators, but that general sustained pressure from Furia combined with that early lead just doesn't feel like there's enough in the tank.
Oh, that was a nice idea. Maxu going for the infield pass. That was crazy. Taking it back to his own corner again. Trying to get the light first touch. We've seen a lot of space given to Furia and a lot of flip resets that lead into rebound chances.
Yeah, some of these plays from Yan. Oh, wow. Looked like he's playing free play from the corner on the Gladiator side.
Did you see that, Kirill?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was a tragic team bump. I mean, I like the idea, the little backflip into the ball, regain possession, and then everybody on Gladiators is thinking, quick, it's time to go, and then you just give one up with 3 seconds left, and that's just stretching it where you don't really need to. You're trying to make something happen, and you end up just getting in each other's way, and a little bit of a collapse. Definitely going to put a sour note to the end of game 2.
And even there, a double commit at the midfield. You're seeing the speed of Furia. You know, and many people, like we had said before, had Furia going deep. We've seen them have some incredible wins in the past, and they are starting to play like that team that we saw play in Los Angeles. 2-0, Furia now up over Gladiators. They could send them home in one more game.
I feel like for Gladiators, I was just mentioning how there are a lot of half chances or chances downfield where maybe one touches off and then they lose the ball. Yeah. But I feel like because of the speed combined with how encouraged Gladiators are to move downfield, especially all 3 of them pushing the Furia box, they've been caught. They've been caught multiple times on the counterattack from Furia. Even in the last goal, you've seen that. And then they just scramble to get back, and Furia have so much control on the ball with the flip reset and just the control off the backboard and the corners as well. It's been tough for Gladiators just to bring the ball down, slow the game down, and then proceed downfield.
Yeah. Every time they try to slow the game down, they're getting 50'd. Yeah. And it's, you know, going right back over their backboard. They're low on boost, and then, you know, they don't have the boosted challenge. So you're seeing Furia just, oh, I'll take an amazing first touch off the wall going into a flip reset and then force you to guess what I'm going to do. You know, Furia, they're in full control of this game.
That is probably exactly where I think Furia is trying to angle themselves when they perceive Gladiators as a slow team. It's like, okay, you have this type of approach, and when you try and just get up in front of the ball, we're already fast enough to understand what you're doing. There's not enough mix-up. There's not enough misdirection. We know what you're going to do, and we can definitely position around that and make good decisions. And the ball control, as you mentioned, is simply at a higher tier for Furia that gives them a lot more opportunities.
See what Gladiators can do. They started out this series with a goal, shut out last game, and this is their tournament life on the line. They have to get this next win.
Again, another decent look, and they might push it through again. Gladiators has a couple good looks right off the rip here in 30 seconds. And maybe another one. Surely someone gets over this one. LCT can't get over it. At least put it on target. And Gladiators still trying to threaten, but everyone running out of boost. And Furia, get out.
Nice flick. Powerful off the backboard. LCT just plays the miss.
He's like, nah, you don't have it.
Let's go for it. The flip reset blocked by Kaio. And there's the speed to go for Furia as well.
Gladiators definitely trying to get a lot more in front of these plays, starting to try and really pressure that Furia defense. But here's the problem. You give a lot back the other way, and you get punished.
Oh, Card with the royal flush on this one. Tap past the defender. Get the backboard read. That was gorgeous.
He's the king for a reason, James. And with the speed from Furia combined with the mechanics, as we've been mentioning, it's an easy double tap for him. Furia striking first here in game 3. Maybe another one as a follow-up there. That's a great block from LCT. And Gladiators, here they are, slowing the game down. And this is what we wanted from them. Maybe a second touch, but he got bumped out of the way. But that was great from Gladiators. They brought that ball down. They forced Furia to kind of back up and regroup. And they generated a quality chance to move downfield.
But now you're seeing Yan pre-jumping. That's how much confidence he's got. But even on that last play, that bump on the Gladiators player, that was a double tap ball. You saw, looked like the first touch was good. The Gladiators showing some life, showing some promise. But Yan is showing flips.
He's putting him to sleep.
That's a pretty good flip reset, and what to make matters worse, got on top of the ball, able to drive it down right through the defense. Huge goal.
Such fluid motion, how quickly they can get that car turned around underneath the ball to get that flip. So good at disguising it. Now another goal, bar down. Kaio will put this one in. Furia up 3-0.
And what can you do if you're Gladiators? We've talked about it. They're a little bit outclassed here, especially in the speed and mechanics department. We say it over and over again. It just keeps happening for Furia. So quick to that ball. Double taps coming left and right for Furia. And it's going to be a long 3 minutes here if Gladiators can't right the ship.
And this is where you see that major experience come into play. Furia,
They know.
been here before. They know how it goes. But
Can't hesitate.
Gladiators, they're getting that valuable experience. They said it in their interview, that stepping stone before Worlds. And some lessons can be hard to learn.
So what do you do?
Was
if
that
you're
a
getting
double
double
tap?
mode?
Yeah.
Oh my, oh.
Go ahead, explain it to Chiefs.
I'm trying to figure out what you do if you're Gladiators when you're down 3 with 2.5 minutes left on an elimination game while getting double demoed. And it's just like, well, respawn, try and grab the 100 boost and figure out a way, like you were talking about, Corelli, change that pace of play. You have to give yourself options, chances for possession.
Yeah, and around 1, trying to keep it close. Gets it around, card, wide open net. And Furia keeps baiting in the Gladiator defense and then dribbles around him.
And Gladiators, again, very, very willing to move downfield so quickly and just not able to get back in time. The counterattack game, just from the speed alone from Furia, is what's putting away all these goals. You're seeing a lot of open nets or a lot of open space on the Gladiator side after they just had an attack. And Furia certainly showing how to take advantage of that with their speed here in this series.
Another backward will have to be denied. It was not denied, but still no shot from Furia came in. LCT looking for Apps Crazy. Apps Crazy tapped back, but nobody was there. You even saw Maxu kicking it into reverse to get that mid boost.
It's not even fair, man. I mean, they've got the okay idea of they understand that the defense needs to speed up. They can't allow, some things to just bounce. Like, Gladiators have definitely figured that out by this point. The next stepping stone is, okay, we're also getting beat on the challenges, and you're just able to pull it off the goal line, but the positioning from Furia, yeah, all right, put him to sleep.
It's shot after shot, punch after punch. I mean, a great save from Apps Crazy, but then you got someone else from Furia coming in to take that shot. And I mean, yeah, you need to get up and challenge. You need to deny the backboard, but also you got to have boost to do that. Otherwise, you're just grounded. And with how quick Furia's been, we're seeing them snag those back boosts. We're seeing them put the ball high, forcing Gladiators out. We're seeing double commits. It's just so difficult for the Gladiators to hang with the speed of Furia.
It's that equilibrium in Rocket League, right? You need to have the speed on offense, but you got to get back on defense as well. And that's what Furia has actually done so well here in this game, is each individual player has created so much chaos on the Gladiator side that they don't really have to stretch out between offense and defense. There's another one for Kaio, a hat trick for him. 6-0 for Furia as they're running away here in game 3.
And then you saw that double commit LCT creeping out into the middle. Not necessarily the wrong play, but you're the last one back after that double commit. You kind of gotta go.
Just has to try and cover it. It's just well placed.
6-0, a blowout in game 3. Furia not pulling any punches.
7? Well, card, that's what? Is that for this game? I think that's for this game.
Do you Brazil?
Nah.
As a Brazilian team?
Nah.
You don't do that?
That one stings too much when it's where you're from.
It's too close to home.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking. I don't think they do.
Well, we'll find out. Less than a minute to go. Furia, a stunner of a game 3. Will we see a?
That's not even fair.
Yes, we will. Kaio with 4.
So
laps all around.
But why do you say that, Chiefs?
It's not fair because how do you defend it? You throw it off the backboard 3-4 times.
He could have scored.
He could have scored. And they're just like, nah, we got to make them look like they just can't handle it.
Putting dents in the backboard.
8-0. Furia looking to get some momentum. They got shut out pretty badly yesterday, and they could use with a little boost.
Okay. Oh,
now another one. That one saved by Maxu. Was see if Gladiators can prevent at least the shutout. Net looks open. Max not able to make the play low on boost. LCT also missing the shot.
I think this is a great game for Furia, obviously because they're winning, but I think just to kind of get into this major as well.
You
because
had to settle in.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're just looking this from the Furia perspective, this was the type of game that you needed. We're sitting on stage, we're playing well, everything's working for us. It's kind of just a confidence boost for them, especially when they went up against KC, we're only able to put up 1 goal.
This was our first elimination match of the day, and it's Gladiators who will be taken down by Furia, who will move on to play FaZe.
Well, you said it the best, James. There's some tough lessons you got to learn at LAN sometimes, and this is one of them here for Gladiators.
Which lesson are you picking? I feel like you might have learned
can't
a few.
hesitate. You can't double commit. You gotta make sure you hit the ball if you go for it.
And don't bump your teammates.
And don't bump your teammates.
unless you're going for a pull shot goal. You know, we've seen a couple of those. But in all seriousness, Furia, they're one of those teams that many people didn't expect to be down here this early. You know, and that's kind of been the theme of this entire London Major so far.
Yeah,
so Gladiators,
you could say that for a lot of teams.
Yeah, for Gladiators, I think, you know, every new region that we've seen in the past comes in and they've got to take that time to build up. And I think for Gladiators, they did show some gusto. They came here, they played, they opened up this series with a goal. They're going to take a lot of positives from this whole experience.
I think a lot of people get mad at casters because we might look at the positive a little too much for some teams, but there were some positives here for Gladiators, especially in those first 2 games. I think they really stuck against Furia a lot better. I think the 3rd one got away from them. But look, there's something for this team. And for all of the smaller regions as well, there's a lot of great talent that's growing.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them here in London and just in the majors in general.
I think this is by far and away an excellent series to go back on and say, okay, we understand the problems here.
Sure.
And you know what that looks like. It's not a hard problem to fix. The problem is the pace of it, right? It's like, okay, we know we have the time in our own region to do what we've been doing, and that got us to this point. That's good, but you can't come here and take a nap. You got to come here and be able to do that 100% all the time, add in the mechanics, add in the consistency, and they go, okay, we understand what the best of the best looks like now.
And Furia, just such a fast team. We've seen how quickly they can play when you give them even just a little bit of space, what they can do. They had a little bit of space in this series. What was that, 9 or
9
I forget, was it
9,
9 goals that Furia put up? So an incredible performance from Furia, a bounce back performance from a very lackluster first series that they played. And now, I mean, going off that, I don't even know how you take it. I mean,
it's tough to read, right? Because there's a blowout, but I think there is positives there for Furia. Again, just to settle in on stage, you're getting into the series, getting into the major.
Okay, it's not like we're getting slapped and we're just bad.
Right. And they don't go 2 and out. Because again, we were talking about expectations. And for Furia, the expectation is that they go pretty deep.
And I think that's really the positive, is that this wasn't a close series. You know, you even saw BDS and Pioneers. Like, you have these teams where, you know, as a hardcore Rocket League fan, you're thinking, oh, this should be so easy. This should be a perfect sweep. Looking at it on paper, and it's not that way. And we've seen that so often. So I think that really is the takeaway for Furia. They came in here and they took care of business. And to talk about that business, we've got Subi and Orb down in the Oasis.
That is right. Orb and Subi here from the Oasis, standing here with Furia, who had a ridiculous performance here. Very well done. We had a sweep and just a crushing 9-0 win just to cap it off, because why not?
Why not?
So we're obviously standing here with the players when I try to pick their brain a little bit. So something I was noticing was the team was keeping very calm throughout the whole series. Even towards the end, there was laughter. There was smiling going on. Is that the key to keep it very, very loose, very calm?
Vocês estavam bem calmos durante o jogo inteiro, felizes. Essa é uma chave para poder conseguir ganhar?
Eu acho que sim, porque ontem contra a Carmine a gente tava jogando muito nervoso, muito na pressão de querer ganhar. E hoje a gente tá jogando mais jogando mais para se divertir mesmo. E a gente jogou assim em Los Angeles. Então a gente voltou a jogar assim agora e eu acho que esse é o que tá faltando para nós, porque a habilidade a gente tem. O que tá pegando é o mental.
So yeah. So yesterday we played a little bit with more pressure. we're trying to do more than what, and today we played a little bit more like we played in Los Angeles, more calm and more having fun than strategic and with pressure that like we did yesterday.
Is that going to be the plan moving forward, just keeping it nice and simple and loose?
Esse é o plano para o futuro, para agora, para os próximos jogos?
Go ahead, Zubi.
O que aconteceu ontem sirva de aprendizado, né? Agora a gente vai manter, procurar sempre se divertir, que eu acho que é o principal. E bora. Se Deus quiser, vai dar tudo certo. Para daqui pra frente.
So yeah, we learned a lot from yesterday, and we're gonna keep that. And now we push the ball forward.
Now, you know, I always wonder about what goes through a player's mind after a tough loss or a big win. But yesterday, you guys got swept 0-3 to Carmine Corp. What did you guys talk to each other last night about in the hotel? What did you say coming into today?
Como que foi a comunicação de vocês ontem, depois do jogo, entre vocês, para conseguir chegar nesse nível que vocês estão agora?
A gente conversou, né, tipo, sobre essa parada de, tipo, tá jogando sério. Aí a gente agora, tipo, conversou certinho, tá? Arrumou. Aí vai jogar, tipo, agora mais tranquilo, mais feliz, tipo, tentar não jogar, tipo, totalmente sério, só concentradamente, entendeu? Tipo, jogar se divertindo.
Yeah, so we talked just about that, like we should not do it too seriously, have more fun, and try to make this happen.
Well, I've got to say, Orb, I'm very excited to see Furia play FaZe Clan tomorrow.
Likewise.
It's going to be just firepower, offensive production up and down the field, but we've got to wait 24 hours for that.
We do have to wait a little bit.
But unfortunately, we've got to go. We've got to let these guys go scrim some more. But don't go anywhere, because up next, we've got Power facing Liquid.
We've all been here before.
Will Moist win this major? I think there's a possibility. There's a lot of good teams in this tournament.
Most definitely. Not even a question. There's a reason we slaughtered BDS that one time. In the Super 16, handled them. No chance. Not even a competition. They didn't even bracket reset us. Everybody picked BDS. Everybody was sleeping on us. There's a reason we're picked up by Moist Critical. There's a reason we're called Moist Esports. There's a reason we handled a job. G2? The only reason they beat us last time is because we got a little tired. We had to run to that gauntlet of that lower bracket, but that won't be happening this time. G2, we'll see you in semifinals, and once semifinals is over, you'll be seeing Moist roll on over to winners finals. After the winners finals, the grand finals is wraps.
Clip that.
We're not going down.
Clip that, please. Clip that. Respect. I genuinely don't believe that I am the best player in the world. I think probably Vatira and Joyo as well on his day are the best players in the world.
That was just me being a good teammate, a great teammate even. I'm the best because you saw it in LA. I picked it up. I was easily the best. I know there was that dude T-Bates. He was talking a lot about Atomic. I really should have been MVP. I was balling. I was scoring 1.04 goals per game. Like, who does that? Nobody. Not even first killer. Everybody sleeps on me. You gotta understand, I'm here to stay. I'm here to play. I'm Rise, and I genuinely am the best player in the world. Come on. And I'm gonna prove it to you this weekend.
I definitely don't always play so good, especially Regional 1 and 2 of this spring split. Had some really bad performances, but I try and stay consistent by putting in effort, keeping up the hours.
I said it, I stay consistent. I never play bad. You haven't seen it. My bad is other people's good. That's how good I am. That's just that simple. Am I great? Not to me, he can reach that, especially Monkey, Mr. Online himself.
I don't think there's any team on their day that is better than us, so what I would say to them is, you're not.
You're not?
Nah, bro, that's a violation. I can't believe you've done the accent. That's a violation. That's a violation. I can't believe he's done the accent. He's done me in.
The World Championship is where the greats become legendary.
Moment, all it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focused, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
Game 1 gave us some hope that this might be a series that would go the distance, but no, Furia downloaded Gladiators very quickly. The 3-0 sweep, you could see that they were sleeping on them by Game 3.
I mean, they're having more fun on the Gladiators side. They have been such a joy to be around here. They've been so lovely, friendly, talking to everyone. They're super excited for this, but also for the future. You know, going to be able to make it over to that wild card, have an opportunity to do it all again, and there'll be some more opposition there with APAC North also, and then the 2 Sub-Saharan African teams. There'll be a little bit of rivalry going on there, which of those teams can make it the furthest, but they've just had a great time here.
Yeah, but Furia, come on, man. 9 goals in that last game. Jordy,
man, they needed that. They needed this.
Nine's a little much, all right?
They only scored 1 goal against K-Corp, and then Game 1 happens. Gladiators get the first goal, and I'm like, oh no, this is going to happen. I can't even be upset if APAC end up winning, but it didn't happen, and Furia absolutely, that had to feel great. And I love what they said in the post-game interview, which was like, look, we were trying to over-strategize, and if there's something we've learned out of each major, is that fun is the meta that takes you far. And that's what Furia learned today against Gladiators.
Gladiators did have fun as well, but it didn't quite work out as well for them. But it was still great
Maybe
to see
a little more than fun.
That 9th goal, they screamed louder than Furia. That was still on that. So that was great to see from Gladiators.
Yeah, but we talk about having fun meta. Yeah, that's easy to say when you win, because you are obviously going to be having fun. So Gladiators, like, even though in a loss, we're having a good time.
I don't know. Yeah, Gladiators is like that's the thing I always use to pitch Rocket League to new people is like it's the game I've had the most fun in when I'm losing, especially when you start out and you first get into the game.
And
you're just like
lose a lot. Yeah.
I do lose a lot. I had so much experience.
You don't expect to hit the ball.
It's fun. Exactly. So it's fun. And like I don't know the fact I can't recall many competitive esports matches across any game where the losing team at a major was just having a good time when they were getting beaten 9-0.
Yeah, I don't have someone yelling at me for locking Octane. So
yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's talk about the next match coming down the pipe. Here's the bracket. Show you again the lower bracket we're living in today. Congratulations to Furia as they advance forward. They will be facing off against FaZe Clan, so we'll see them next.
And this is a big one for Team Liquid and Power coming up because we see that there's a lot of EU teams on that lower side of the bracket, but you need 2 EU teams to make a top 8 at the very least for EU4 to have any chance for a top 8 spot for a main event. So for EU fans at home, they want to see Team Liquid win, but on the other side, CJ, a lot of scenarios going on with Power right now.
A lot of scenarios. They have to win this, win, and they're in. Win, and they make Worlds, so this is a massive game for them. However, they're coming up against Team Liquid. We spoke about it yesterday with Jimmer, the coach of Power. He said in scrims, any other team, they just fix a few things and they can beat them. However, Liquid, he said they're unbeatable. So it's not ideal that now they're playing them in a game when your coach says they can't win.
Well, let's talk about Liquid and what they bring to the table today. Dropping to the lower bracket, I think, earlier than most teams expected, Greg.
I mean, that's tough on them. They had to play against Falcons, who are now what a lot of people are saying are destined to win this major. So they had a rough start. I think now they get to pick up some speed, starting off with Power. If they can beat that, they then got a really tough opponent up next in G2. But at least they're going to have a chance to warm up into playing on stage, get a win under their belt, potentially here against Power. And we'll see what happens next.
I do think Liquid have to stay focused here, though. I don't think you can sleep on this Power team. I don't think you can come in here and play your game, play that mechanical game that Liquid know how to play. Chronic, he's feeling good right now, and you like to see that early on, but Power, they're not going to be the easiest out.
The thing about Liquid, though, is when they're just sitting back and having fun, they're still mechanical. For them, that's doing more flip resets and doing more mechanical things, so they will eventually break you down through their lazy gameplay.
And I was impressed with them yesterday. I know they didn't win their series, but I didn't think they looked really that rough.
It was very competitive.
Their first series, we talk about it so much with this team. They are so young. We cannot say it enough. Yeah. But they look comfortable. They look good.
And that's what we always say. It's experience versus these players that are so young, just barely 15.
Yep.
And I said that a lot throughout all of EU because I was on a Dignitas stream a lot, whereas Dignitas versus Team Liquid, I'm like, we got this. We got all the experience on our side. And no, Team Liquid showed up every single time. We're going to try to do it here.
Oski might be young, but he's 50 feet tall. He's taller than me, so I don't know what that's.
6 feet tall and super strong. He's a wonderful player. There on the other side of the pitch, first time seeing them on the broadcast with one of the longest standing veterans from his scene. It's Team Power.
Hey, it feels great to be back in London. As soon as it was announced back in the copper box, I knew I had to be back. I mean, London crowd was incredible. It doesn't compare to any other crowd. It's just insane. Last time we came 5th to 6th, so it's going to be tough to do better than that. But I reckon if we pull some good upsets up, we'll be back in there. Just one win is our main goal, and if we can get any more than that, then that is huge for us. but we've been boot camping for like 3 weeks or so. We're coming in, I think, the best form we've been in this whole season, so we're very confident. We've been preparing for the major pretty much since the split began, like looking forward to it. Been focusing on scrims more than we have been the whole season, so hopefully we'll get it over the line. Major is very important for us because, you know, winning one series gets us to Worlds, and not winning a series means we could be sitting at home again, so pretty big. I think the general energy around the team is we're pretty confident. The other teams aren't scared of us at all, and they don't need to be, but we're definitely very underrated. No one's looking at us, and I think we're going to surprise a few teams. I think you'll be able to expect a 3-0 over FaZe first round, and then straight into the final from there. It's going to be easy.
You know, CJ, I never know how to place Torsos's attitude. He always seems like he's like, oh, we're about to die. It's all about to be over. And yet season after season, here he is.
He's a fan favorite internationally, really. Torsos, you can't forget that he has made every single international land he could qualify for, bar one. So he's a veteran, and for him to still be mechanically at the top of the, you know, nearly one of the best mechanical players in the world still, I mean, that's a credit to him.
High pressure, though, because we talked about Team Liquid. They're out of the World Championship race. They're here to have some fun, but on the other side, Power is one match away from making it to the World Championship, or else it's not in their hands anymore. We'll see if that plays a factor, Jorby.
I really think that Power, they do have a shot here. I actually believe Torsos when he says that they have a shot. I mean, you got Express, who has played well historically at LANs in the past, and then, of course, next to Torsos, the guy, the man, who was the talk of OCE not long ago, Amphis, and you got to think that he's going to be a big factor in this matchup.
In RLCS, Amphis was the player. He was the best player in the region. He regressed a little bit coming into this season. Torsos has been that man, that go-to guy. But even speaking to Archie before in scrims, this guy, he'll sit on your backboard randomly when they're all in defense, counter-attack. He's got the redirect. He has that edge. He has that sort of X factor. And if he brings it out, he can be, you know, really good.
And that sums up OCE. It's a bit unorthodox. People don't know what they're coming up against, and you could see it just in the way they dealt with the teapots and everything.
What was going on there?
They did it completely different to any other team did. So they like to be unusual, and that can sometimes work in your favor coming into international tournaments because you're unpredictable and can often steal a few games.
Well, Team Power going up against Team Liquid, they had some words for each other.
We'll need to play our best Rocket League. I think, you know, they're a very good team, so it's going to be hard.
We have to change because, like, usually we don't play like we did against Falcons. If we like just make the little mistakes go away, then we should be fine.
I don't really think Team Liquid has any weaknesses. They're a really good team, really solid team.
We want to win so bad. There's a shot of us at making Worlds. We have to go all the way.
We'll win because we're popping off.
You guys need to be careful.
Liquid versus Team Power will be our next match. One of these teams going home. One of them looking for just one win here in London for a chance to play at Worlds. Let's see what you guys think at home. Get your votes in the Twitch chat there. #TL, #PWR. And we'll vote here as well on the desk here. Jorby, we'll start with you. Just go down the line.
Whew. Well, you know, thank you, CJ. You see, Liquid are kind of like the EU FaZe, and EU are Mickeying this regional really hard. So I'm going Power.
Okay.
I totally believe in this team. I think Torsos, Amphis, Express. Look, it's OCE day, CJ. I can't pick against Power.
And I'm an OCE fanboy, but not today. Not today at all. I'm a Liquid. I'm all on Team Liquid. They are my team, and they're in it. And, yeah, obviously, for my sake, would love them to get the dub. So let's go Team Liquid. Go the boys.
So it is OCE day. That's why I wore black, because it's a funeral for OCE, and it's not going to happen. And we're going to have a Worlds first. We're going to have someone clinch a World Championship spot on the desk. If Power loses, then this man's going to Worlds.
That is a World.
So I'm going Team Liquid.
First.
That'd be nice.
That's great.
That would be a first. Someone on the desk clinching Worlds, but I think it's most likely. I think Liquid are probably going to win this.
Okay.
I mean, you were saying before how Power have said how great Liquid are. You even heard it in Express's
They've got no weaknesses.
Yeah, they've got no weaknesses. Power don't believe, so I think Liquid have got to take it.
Man, last time we were here, there were Icelandic claps for Chiefs. Torsos was on that team. I don't think we're at Chiefs.
Is that the same ring to it?
So.
Power.
Yeah, it doesn't work. The chant doesn't work, so I have to go Liquid. I'm so sorry. I have to go Liquid on this one. We'll see how they can. Can they make a battle out of it? I'm excited to watch. I know you guys are as well at home. Let's see what the chat thought there. 34% going for Power, but 66 here for Liquid chat. more or less agreeing with us here on the desk. Let's get down to the pitch, down to Manfield to start some more Rocket League action. Another team going home. Can Power get that one win they need? They're going to have to go through Liquid if they want to do it.
Torsos has been here, Torsas has done it, but if he is going to make it over to another London crowd day, he has got put together 2 days of the best Rocket League of his career. For Team Liquid, they know that Europe is in a bad spot here today, Johnny. They're going to try and figure this out.
Yeah, this is a must win for Liquid. You know, their season probably finishes with this event, but after what happened yesterday, I think just for their egos, they need this. It's almost a goal early on. Just spices into the post.
I'm traumatized from kickoffs. After that G2 series, I don't want to see any more kickoffs.
I'm seeing right now, CJ's moving away from the camera. I really want CJ back over at the camera so we can keep shooting back over to him, see how he's feeling about all of this.
He's confident. I mean, Liquid, they didn't play too badly against Falcons. I think Falcons proved after being phased that they just really were on some ridiculous level yesterday, which they usually are in RLCS with that exact roster. So Liquid started strong against Falcons. I'm expecting them to do the same here, and yeah, I think a quick win against Power.
So, I mean, it wasn't a really high bar set yesterday, but Liquid probably the strongest first round showing from a losing team. All right, Ato's going to want to try and sort that shooting out later, but they can come in here with somewhat confidence. Well, Oski's doing that. I think he's confident.
Especially with the way that Falcons performed and how much hype there is around that team. I mean, Johnny, you've been talking about it literally for years about how good
we have had
Falcons
to put up
are.
with this, haven't we?
We have for way too long. And now, you know, everybody can be quiet because we realize how great Falcons are. And I think that gives a lot of credit to Team Liquid and how they're going to perform here, especially whenever they've got the entire region of Europe on their backs.
And, you know, that Power roster not able to take a game off phase, you did fall the same scoreline to Falcons that Liquid did, in similar fashion. But so far, they are holding on, and this is a great chance for them to get the ball rolling. In fact, there's a bit of pressure on Oski there. Torsos able to keep the ball alive, but vacating the area. Third man not able to follow up.
We know how quick Liquid can be, a Chronic! Started off yesterday incredibly well. He looks to do the same this time around, Turtle. A Chronic for me, for as mechanical as his two teammates have been, has been the difference maker for Liquid this tournament.
Yeah, and that was a lot of mechanics behind the ball, but then outside of it, we saw Oski going for the mid-aerial bump play, and he ended up taking out the goalkeeper, making it that much easier to find the first goal for Team Liquid. And we can expect a lot of physical plays, a lot of damage, at least with mechanics, but the question is, how do Power respond?
Yeah, they've got to really go for it here. You don't have a chance against Liquid unless you really fight for that midfield. We saw Falcons able to even out the speed disadvantage they started off the series against Liquid with, and since then they were able to take control. So, you know, it's finding the balance between matching Liquid's speed without pushing yourself to the point where mechanical inconsistencies start to become a real problem.
Power as well, it's very much about just trying to find that balance, because we saw Liquid, once things started to go wrong for them yesterday, they struggled to put it back together. Oski taps it down. What a play! Team Liquid 2.
Oski. We've just been talking about him all game one, and he's going off the ceiling to get the drop down pass to a Chronic, the dynamic duo, just making waves on offense.
That was brilliant play. Loving what I'm seeing in the top left, by the way, these little icons they managed to get inside their names up there. It's great to see. Chronic has been the star, though, as he's indicating.
What a start for Liquid.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They got one of these yesterday as well. They were 4-0 up on Falcons, or maybe I think it was 4-1 in fact, but it's about keeping this level. They did start to show inconsistencies. Double reset attempted by Ato there. Mechanics are never a question as Oski completely dusts his man to the ball. Not having any problems with Power so far.
For Team Liquid, they have been that team for the longest time now where they might just run over you. But if you can get them to slow down, get a loss next to them, they're a team that have struggled to adapt. The big thing here for Power is getting themselves into a position where that is a problem, and this might help. Torsos' shot doesn't need any help. Make sure he finds the target.
And let's see how Liquid are going to handle this one, because that was not ideal. We saw a double commit from two of their defenders, and a clean beat by Power call to Express there. It's in. Just don't try and steal that one, man. It's already in. 1-goal game. Power able to find something with a Liquid mistake in defense.
And that's exactly what you were talking about, Johnny, was keeping the consistency. I mean, game 1, the beginning looked great, but of course you start to struggle a bit on defense and things start to get shaky. A double commit, not ideal, and of course not something you want to see. 1 minute and 31 seconds left. Power, they might just have a chance.
They need it as well. They need it for their world's spot. They are fighting for themselves here. If they lose this, they need Pioneers to lose as well later on today. Otherwise, Power will not be going to the World Championship. They'd much rather get it done here, not have to wait for their region to lose as well later on today. Nice little recovery there by Amphis. Looks like he was bumped off the play, but managed to get back onto it with a very smooth move.
1 minute left now. It is up to Power to make something happen. They keep going for those infield passes. Yeah, it looks like Team Liquid have now caught sight of it. They've been dealing with that reasonably well.
Hold on.
Now Express, nothing on that. Oski gets wiped out for his troubles. I like the adaptation there from Power. Realized that despite the fact that the shot didn't have much on it, it also meant that the defender had to stay completely still.
I really love the timing of the demo. They knew they were under pressure, and Team Liquid were going to be stationary. That goalkeeper not even moving, but it's the final 35 seconds. What a redirect from Torsauce. Give that back into his own team. It looked a little bit scary at first, but I like the possession.
Yeah, you have to just yell back pass there to let everybody know.
A bit risky.
Just as long as you say back pass, it's a back pass. Just 20 seconds left, though. Power have to find a goal. They've got to find it now. That was a big, big chance for them. And Liquid survive for now.
Oski, I'm so impressed that he managed to hold his nerve during that because he was just stood still for like 3 seconds. That's an eternity in this game. It's off the demo. Torsauce tasked against the toe.
Here we go.
Who does get a hold of it. Torsauce needs to try and find a setup. It's going to be tough. Amphis keeps it up off the backboard. Where's the follow? And so is too quick. And Team Liquid have got game number 1.
Bit of a scare at the end there. A couple of scares, actually, for Liquid, who started off just as they did yesterday. They looked like the better team by far. They were outpacing their opponents. They were dominating the midfield. But that was a nice little surge at the end there by Power, showing that they definitely have something here. And they've got a lot of experience on this team. They've got a lot of LAN experience as well. So this is looking good for them, I'd say, to start off. Definitely the Liquid, clearly the more mechanical team, as we expect.
And in terms of experience, it's literally the opposite. I mean, you got rookies on the other side internationally, but then, of course, everybody knows Torsauce, Amphis, Express. They've been here before, but that's why I favor Liquid. This is their second series. That first one, get the jitters out, come out in the second series and really pop off.
Yeah, so coming into this one, Team Liquid on top. This is what we saw yesterday. However, they looked really good. And speaking of looking really good, welcome over here, Turtle. We need a...
I'm with my mates. I'm with my mates.
Yes.
Bruv. Gov.
You've got to just rate Turtle's English accent.
I've been doing this the entire time. I think everybody hates me right now because I just don't stop.
It's difficult, though, because yours is actually...
pretty
solid.
Good. It's getting good.
Thank you.
If it was always bad for like the last 2 years, then we might have a problem. But like, it's always been pretty good.
You were doing it before, like at any event. This is all he does. He walks around this with
That's
English
right.
accent.
That's right, bro.
Now you're in
Game
London.
2 in it.
Make sure you do that to all the fans you meet. If you're coming by the copper box, you see Turtle, you better be doing an English accent for you.
He's just another one of the lads, isn't he? As we get ourselves into game number 2, and a Chronic just gives up on that play, knowing Express Projects are covered. But this is where Power needs to get out of, because Team Liquid will tend to win these challenges. They look to try and set up here. That shot has nothing on it, but Torsauce might not be too happy about getting that one taken off him.
Just 20 seconds in, look at the dominance from Team Liquid. They've got pressure. Every single 50-50 seems to be going their way, and I love the way they are rotating out in the midfield. They're a bit passive, but Power are clearing it right to them.
They're saying upfield, that's a great little cut there from Atto. Oski didn't even read it, but he's still able to adapt and get onto the play. Atto double tap, just gonna sneak it in with a lovely recovery. I think a bit of laughter here from Chronic, because that was certainly a chaotic play. Oski just ended up in the perfect position after underestimating what his own teammate Atto could do.
This is my one big worry here for Power, which is they cannot afford, either through choice or through lack of boost, getting stuck into situations where all 3 players are on the back line. Team Liquid are too mechanical to not be challenged in the air. Someone has to be there.
And that's something that Liquid did great yesterday. They were boost starving very effectively. If you can't find a way to get out, whether it's 50s, passes, or something, anything but a soft clear is good. But once again, Liquid are just too quick in the back corner.
How do you even get this into the midfield without pinching it across? It
Amphis may have helped.
such a delicate touch. Look at that follow-up from Atto.
Phenomenal. And as well, even the little bump on the play before that, Express thought he was going to control the ball nah, you're not getting control, you're getting bumped into it. So they have a pull shot to cause some chaos. Liquid thriving in it.
There's a Chronic looking to try and add more pain to the misery. Oski believing in it. Just feels to me like the more you question what Team Liquid are doing there, the stronger they are as a team. The more they seem to believe in what they are capable of doing.
Yeah. It feels like Game 2 is where all the fans of Team Liquid are going to finally get confidence in this tournament.
They just want to get rid of the second game from yesterday.
Exactly.
All right, there we go.
Exactly. I think after seeing Falcon's success, they're already going to feel great.
Yes.
But I think this, just like for Furia earlier on, this is a great round 1 game for Liquid because they're just so impressive mechanically and they're so fast and they're synergizing well right now. So, you know, if you've already got a mechanical advantage and you can nail the synergy, I mean, look at this from Oski. Just making Amphasis look silly here, and Amphasis is no slouch. 2-0 though, just like we saw in game 1. And Power get 1 back just like they did last game.
For Power, we know that they are capable, just as capable as Liquid, with getting rid of the ball. They can get that ball over the halfway liners. Look how confident they are. Ato just loiters around, knows the ball is coming his way.
And look at his positioning. He's so far forward. He was going for a boost steal, got it, turned around, and there's a clear coming right at him.
You know, Power, they're trying to pass the ball down the line there. They're trying to get rid of it because they don't want to just give possession away with an unnecessary clear, but Liquid are all over them. They're intercepting brilliantly. When they're feeling confident and they position confidently, they really can just rely on their mechanics to do the job for them. It's not something you can say for all the teams at this tournament who need to be very careful with their positioning because they don't have those acrobatic mechanics, those cat-like movement to get into the midfield again. Liquid just crushing it right now. Power have to do something about this because, like we keep on talking about, if they get stuck in this corner, they're not going to have a chance in the matchup.
They're doing good at getting it to the halfway line. It's just maintaining this bit because the moment they get it out there inside the field, that's the moment that the whole team's thinking, all right, finally we can boost, we can get ourselves back into position, and by then the play's already gone. They can't really create anything. But for Team Liquid, they've got so many advantages that we get goals like the one we just saw, Turtle, where you've just got players around because, hey, we've got that much field dominance.
Well, and you said that they can boost finally, but for how long is the question? Because they don't have too much once they get past the midfield line. It's just getting nabbed right from under
You have
them.
a look at this here. Finally, boost inside the field. Nothing. Finally, Amphasis gets something, but look at where he is. Oh, finally, he can actually make some use of this. Almost found the drop-down pass, but it was covered.
Power had a shot, I'm actually not sure if I can remember one. Watch the scoreboard come up with 5 or something. But if they they've definitely not had any clear-cut chances. They're having a real issue here.
Look at the
anything
space right in
realistic.
front of Chronic was able to go up for that challenge. Nobody was there to pressure him, and it's a free clear down the other side.
Yes, when you're getting consistently beaten to the ball the way Power are, they don't want to position aggressively. They're just assuming at this point that they're going to get dusted on the way to the ball, so they're sitting back to go and say, okay, surely, it's in. And it was another double commit, just like in the first game. A Liquid mistake, and it does result in a goal for Power.
Well, we usually say if you're going to double commit, you've got to win the ball, but in this position, you've got to at least hit the ball, one of you.
I don't want to be that guy, though, but I
you can be that guy.
It's common whenever you got this much space to have a double commit. They're literally walking around with the ball. All this possession is theirs. There's so much space between them. They're probably super confident in this matchup alone and in Game 2. So seeing a double commit doesn't really spook me for Team Liquid.
Has kind of just become part of the identity of this team, and almost as much of the identity as backboard double taps or flip resets, anything else. Now we go off the backboard yet again. Torsos is not going to be able to challenge that first time. Waits for it to come back down. He has got options down the field. Unfortunately, straight towards Chronic. Got another corner double commit there, as we saw earlier, but it doesn't mean anything because Power don't have anything to work with.
Yeah, Liquid are just showing absolutely no respect to the Power counter-attack. No, they might need to know. It's gone straight in on a lot. How does this keep happening? I feel like Liquid have dominated all 10 minutes that we've seen so far, but a back corner pinch goes in off an Amphasis fake. He's done well there to get close enough to the ball to convince the goalie he's hitting it, but we've got a 1-goal game 25 seconds away from a potential tie.
You said no respect, but they respect Amphasis enough to think that he had that one.
Yeah.
And now suddenly, 20 seconds left. Power are right into this. Oski, again, he has actually been the powerhouse on the backside of the field. Amphasis does not have the boost to get over to that play. 10 seconds left. What can Power put together? The infield pass far too telegraphed. Amphis can take back over. Still trying to move down the field. Torsos was the option.
3
Oski
seconds.
again wins the challenge.
To the
He might be
midfield.
able to turn it into a goal. Where's that one going to bounce?
Oh!
Just doesn't quite reach the lip of the corner. And that is 2-0 Team Liquid.
Yeah, it's a very interesting series because Team Liquid they're clearly dominating, but a couple of careless mistakes at the end of both games made the scoreline interesting. And yeah, I gotta give credit as well to Amphis. You know, we saw double commits for the other 2 goals, double commits in defense from Liquid, resulting in power goals in their opening goals for both games. But Amphis did the right thing on that, or redirected send.
Right.
You've got to either narrowly hit the ball or miss it. It's better to miss the ball than to hit it hard there, because if you get a big solid hit on it, you take the pace off the ball anyway. So you just got close enough to make Liquid think, oh yeah, he might have that. Yeah, Liquid double commits defense. Maybe they can afford to do that now in this matchup, but you can't afford to do that later on in the tournament.
That save stat, look, I don't think I've seen that before.
That's pain.
Yeah,
That's pain.
They didn't have one.
Pain for who? The team that got a lot of saves, or the team that conceded 2 goals without a save?
Listen, it felt more mental, okay, for Power. We're disrespecting them up here. I think that once they got confident, after seeing a double commit happen, they realized, okay, we're not up against giants. They do make mistakes. They do falter a bit on the defensive side, and we can punish this if we push forward. There's not too much boost to work with. That's the issue for me.
If you want another British phrase to add to yourself,
I'm ready.
what
Okay,
we
I'll
call
write
this
it
one
down.
is like when a team's so far ahead, we call no keeps. All right, no goalkeeper. You're not allowed it.
Wait, say it again.
You're too bad. You're too good, so you get no keeps. No goalkeeper.
No keeps, mate, bro.
That's what Liquid seems to be doing.
I got it. Add it to the library of British slang. I'm ready.
We're gonna need to keep building that one. So, remember earlier on today, Dragon saying that he thinks all the English players are going to make it through to the top 8. Oh, great pass actually. Hold that thought as Amphis able to finish off. Phenomenal counter-attack started by Torsos.
Wow. I gotta say, so much credit needs to go to Amphis here, because whilst this game has not been going Power's way, he's not resorted to just sitting back the entire time. He has been happy to go downfield and at least stretch Liquid's defense a little bit, give the option, because if Team Liquid just try and play for challenges their own side of the field, they're never getting out. They're never gonna get a chance. But Amphis' just presence is giving them a shot.
And for me, it felt like the first minute of the last game, he didn't want to do that. He was a bit
They've
more
done it.
passive, and now he's popping off after you're shouting him out.
2 goals for Amphis in 36 seconds. Again, it's Torsos with the assist though. Keeps control of the sidewall play, chips it middle, and Amphis is there for the finish once again. That link up is key. And now really for Power, the question is, do they keep pushing? Do they keep fighting for that midfield, or do they just try and park the bus the way they did in the other 2 games? Because Liquid do get goals when they do that, but 2 goals? Maybe not, maybe they can hold.
I mean, if you want to go full Hopium mode for Power, they've scored the last 4.
That's true.
Oh,
almost wasn't true for too much longer, but it is Torsos who has been really steadfast in defense. They need more of that. They've got the lead. Here's Amphis.
he got the flip.
Continues to try and add to it. But Liquid, this is where the question marks really started to form yesterday, is how do they play when they're behind Turtle? Oh, it might be even worse.
My.
Oh, and a toe. Barely able to put that one above the crossbar.
His life flashed before his eyes, and now they're down the other side of the field, almost winning the 50-50. Oski trying to force this into a better position. And Power immediately returning the clear. I like how they're staying behind the ball more. I've noticed Torsos wants to creep in a little bit. He's more eager to get behind the ball. You even see him there almost going for a double commit. It might end up punishing him.
Look at this.
It's so free. What is happening?
It's still on. It's still on. Oski and Torsos gets the save. There was 3 players. I thought it was safe because, hey, they got 3 players back. And then I realized that's all blue colored cards. And it still didn't end up going in.
There it is.
Oh, there we are.
Okay. Well, they really should have got that one a while ago, because they were making the goal huge. So when you've got a teammate beside the net, you can pass the ball to him, or you can shoot it, but the pass ended up being so far away.
And
Didn't
even that
work.
That shouldn't have gone in. Did you see Amphis on the backboard?
Yeah,
he was just waiting. Should have gotten a touch.
Definitely, a bit of a freebie there for Liquid after throwing away a glorious opportunity. Power want to be more aggressive. They want to step forward and fight for this one. They've got to win this series if they're going to go straight, or if they're going to make Worlds wildcard. It's as simple as that. If they don't, then they're going to rely on Pioneers losing.
Who's got eyes on CJ? Where's he at?
CJ's celebrating.
We need a CJ cam.
He's got to be celebrating. Oh, he's celebrating now. That's more convincing from Liquid, more convincing from Atto.
All tied up now. And they managed to get the comeback. This is what they were looking for. After that first mistake, they figured out how to connect with each other on offense, and it looks a bit like the Amphis Express, or Amphis Torsos, excuse me, connection, but on the other side.
I like the Amphis Express.
The Amphis, that does sound nice.
Get ourselves back down. Ato can't quite find the challenge. Amphis, though, still finding those very solid pinches against the wall. Torsos already up. Oski's just flying at everything. He is very much decided that ball chasing is the play style for this. Off the backboard, asking an awful lot from Express to try and turn that one in. Ato just given the impression he had 0 boost or very low of it. He still made a play happen. But this is better from Power. Do not look like they have been deflated by that lead disappearing on them.
Yeah, you compare the first 2 games to this, and regardless of the fact that they've lost a 2-goal lead, you take 2-2 over, what was it, 1-2 or 1-3 or 2-3, whatever. They were losing in this position in both the previous games to this, so 2-2 is a step up on that. They just need to really stay focused here, try and deny Liquid any clear-cut chances. You have to contest every ball because, like we keep mentioning, there are solo play threats coming from every angle with Liquid on the field. Liquid are really just throwing themselves at the ball here. They're trying to surprise Power
still going.
whenever they can, with extra touches, with cuts of rotation. This is not a standard play, but it slipped through. And if you look at the top right, you can see that there's absolutely no boost for Power to play with here. They're all just playing with such little amounts, and that was costly.
Yeah, Express, that was just painful for him. He knew he couldn't quite get there, gave it his all. And Team Liquid, making use of that boost advantage, did not overcomplicate it, just realized the advantage that they had, thought that they would finally test it, and they finally managed to get the ball into the back of the net. Oski's also missed. Couldn't get the follow-up touch. But Power, a minute 25 to secure their world spot, or at least keep it alive. It is time for them to go all in for it, Turtle.
Meanwhile, Liquid, they've got all of Europe watching this series alone, hoping they take the win and can hold on for a minute and 8 seconds left. We've seen the best out of Power, but what else do they have to build on this offense? It was previously so much work from Amphis and Torsos. Let's see if Express gets a piece of it.
Amphis needs to just re-establish himself down outside the field. He's already trying to do it there. His entire strategy is just throw myself at the first challenge. Does not matter if I get to it. Just make sure I'm the option for my two teammates. But this player right here has been the difference maker for me. Oski has been such trouble. He's gonna get the goal here. But Oski in Game 3 has been the reason that Team Liquid have got this game.
Look at the way Achronic kills this too. He uses the bottom of his car. A lot of times you'll see players just go in, get a pinch, it goes flying the opposite way. So much control and finesse on that touch to set up the security. 2-goal lead for Team Liquid. Might just be over unless Power can bring out something we haven't seen all series.
Yeah, CJ's delighted at this. This means that Renegades will be going to the World's Wildcard event at a bare minimum. And Power are about to become the biggest Pioneers anti-fans in the entire world, because their World's qualification will rely on Pioneers losing, which is crazy considering that this format is really all about regions teaming up and helping each other improve. The final match of Power's London event. Oh, hold on.
Wait.
Have we spoken too soon? Torsos bangs in a redirect. There's 5 seconds left. They've got to pull out a kickoff strat here from the training manual. What have they got in store?
And Torsos had a smile on his face after that one went in. They are feeling at least like they've got a shot at this one. Let's see what Power can pull out. It's a good start. They've at least got control of the ball. Now it's all about transitioning it to the other side. But that challenge just too strong. And Team Liquid move on to the next round.
That 50 just had to be better to keep it up and keep the hopes of Power alive. Meanwhile, Team Liquid all smiles across the face. Well, sort of. They don't look as happy as I thought they would.
They got more work to do.
Yeah, definitely.
They got more work to do. They know they've got the next round coming up.
Yeah, they're not happy about where they are in the tournament. Lower bracket round 1 is not where they wanted to be after one day had gone by, but well done Liquid. Another sweep on the day. Power eliminated. We're going to find out very soon whether or not they're going to be at Worlds, because BDS Pioneers will determine whether Power are going to be there, essentially. It really is as simple as that, but hey, congrats to not just Team Liquid, but CJ, and the Renegades, who have just confirmed that they will be at the wildcard competing against the best teams in the world.
That's your team gone now, isn't it? In the lucky draw.
Yeah, so that means I've been absorbed, in fact. Like the way that our own caster lucky draw works is whoever wins against you, you become another fan of that team.
Right.
So now I'm all aboard. I believe it's CJ's Liquid Train. So there you go.
CJ's won everything in this one, hasn't he?
He's taking it all. But well, Liquid are clearly the better team here. A lot to work on though. If
And
I'm being
Liquid's still got no
honest.
saves.
Yeah, they got no saves. I mean,
actual no keeps.
Yeah,
because Oski was just ball chasing the whole time. I don't think there was time for anybody else to get any touches.
I don't think they're showing really a lot of respect to Power here.
Yeah,
and Power's midfield and offense, they're just going crazy mechanically, just trying to outpace them. But they can't do that. They can't make mistakes like this. You can't double commit against other competition they're going to run into. I mean, these goals, they were 1-goal games until the last one. They were behind by 2 the last one. Definitely a bit messy by Liquid, but their talent did the talking.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Power, they had good ideas as we went through.
It was there.
I think for Liquid, the big thing for them here is that they grew stronger throughout that entire time. Oski especially. Oski, I don't know about you, Toto. You're the pro of us. Would you ever want to play against someone bull chasing that much and winning every challenge
I'm
like
the pro,
that?
but big brain Johnny boy is over here, okay? But I wouldn't want to play against that. Oski, it's annoying because it gets in your head. If you see another player on the other side ball chasing, not only is he taking boost from you, taking possession away, but if his team is prepared for it, which obviously Liquid were, they were working around the ball chasing of Oski, that's even more frustrating because you finally take it away, but then one of Team Liquid's members just gives it right back to him, and he's in your face. So annoying. You're tilted, and you don't want to play anymore.
So, Liquid's next rounds. G2, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, G2. So
how are we feeling about that, either side?
Honestly, based on what we just saw there, I favor G2. I really do, because that was messy from Liquid. I think G2 are going to punish that a whole lot more. I don't think G2 are going to be as mechanically outclassed. I think overall, I think Liquid's mechanics are better than G2, but it's close enough that I think G2 have far more to offer in other areas to make up for that.
Well, we are finished over here to hear what Team Liquid thought about that series. We're going to pass you over to Orb and Subi.
All right, we're standing here with Team Liquid. And listen, we made a promise, so let's carry out that promise. What was it?
If we were in the interview now, we would do a pose. So let's do it.
Let's do the pose. They casually walked by earlier, and he looked at me and he said, Orb, we're going to win our next game, and then we have to, you have to promise we were going to do the pose. And I said, if you guys win, let's do the pose. So there we go. All right?
Fair enough.
Talk us through that series. It was a sweep for you guys. Did it feel that easy?
Yeah.
Short and simple, yes. Did it feel that easy to you too?
Yeah, we were expecting a sweep, actually. We thought that we had the potential to do it, so.
I mean, you didn't think it would be that easy, right?
Oh, I did.
All right, fair enough. Confidence all across the board.
I mean, is there extra pressure? Obviously, all the matches here today now are elimination round, right? So it's either win or lose. Sadly, there's a competition. You got to have a winner. You got to have a loser. Does that add extra pressure for you guys? Or is it just business as usual?
I don't understand.
Sorry, I'll pass it on.
At least individually, I don't think there's any pressure for me. What about you,
Well, there's always pressure, but we just take it series by series and just play our way.
I mean, coming into this, you guys are some of the youngest kids out here. I think the only one younger is me, obviously. But how do you guys take that and just knowing you're the young guns, people kind of doubted you early on, but then they saw those mechanics coming into this. How do you feel coming in as a young crew with those expectations on your shoulders?
Well, we kind of practice in scrims, so like we would basically expert our coach, but like have him like he wouldn't coach much. He would like make us play like how we want to play, and we built up on that. And then as we came in, we tried to do that against Falcons and did it work. But then we changed it up a little bit, and now we're good.
And how tall are you right now?
6'3".
See, 6'3", all of us. 6'3",
6'3", all of us.
It's the common theme this weekend.
It looks about the same. I'm looking at the preview monitor. 6'3", all of us. I mean, speaking of scrimming, I want to just pick your brain a little bit and ask, who is the toughest team to scrim against? Who's your toughest opponent scrim-wise?
I would say Carmine.
What is it that they do that it's so hard to play against or hard to scrim against?
Like, they pre-jump a lot, and their pre-jumps are actually consistent, so I think it's the reason why they are really good in scrims. And they showed in the main stage yesterday, so they deserved it, top 6.
Wait. We have breaking news. He's in the building. Okay. You guys, I'm so sorry to cut this short, but we just got some massive news. We've got to go over here. We've got to get
Congratulations to Team Liquid. Boys, well done.
Come over here. Come
in. Okay, this is a mess.
Come here.
Listen.
Look at it. Look, I don't know what we're doing.
Like what you guys
I don't know what's going on.
Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. By the
But
way,
we
this
got
is the
massive
Oasis,
news.
by the way. This is the Oasis. Everything is kind of a mess, but we roll with the punches. Go ahead, Subi.
Yeah, I'm hearing you're going somewhere deep in the heart of
Dallas. We're going to Worlds, baby. We made it.
That is right.
Massive. Massive.
Okay. Honestly, how does it feel to make Worlds? You guys missed out on this one. Honestly, I think everyone was expecting you to be here as a player, and you guys almost got there. Now you officially get to the world stage. How does it feel? Raw emotions right now.
Just relief, I think. Obviously, yeah, we missed out in a Game 7 to make this one. So to lock in Worlds, I think we put in the work throughout the season to get there. So shout out to Kami, Fever, LBP back at home. We did it, and we're going to Worlds. So thank you, Team Liquid. They're my team. I've got the card for them. I'm still rooting for them all tournament, and they've helped me get to Worlds. So awesome.
Hey, we got to make a promise. All of us eat barbecue together in Texas.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that. CJ, I just wanted to ask you one question before we send it. How does it feel just walking around as a player here? Do you feel like the urge to like, man, I wish I would have been here competing? Does it kind of like scratch that itch of pro gaming?
Yeah, definitely. And I think now we've qualified for Worlds. I want to sort of rip this jacket off and get practicing. So yeah, it's certainly a different feeling, but loving hanging out with you guys. It's good fun.
Yeah,
Dallas coming up.
I got to say, I'm super proud of you, man. It's just good to see you continue that grind, stay at the top. I mean, it's always fun to see you compete. But you, me, him, we've all got to go get some snacks because up next is going to be the #1 EU team, Team BDS, going up against #1 OCE, the Pioneers. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you get everything done, but get back here in just a minute.
We've all been here before. We've all been here before.
The World Championship is where the greats
become legendary.
broken. You know you make me reckless. I'll run, but you are friction. Your touch feels like heaven. You make me hate all my sins. You are my religion. My religion. I have a million reasons to leave you. Moment. All it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focused, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment. Rise up, you give it all that you got and you rise up. All the stories that tell about the champion who came from the crown. Are you ready to carry it now? Going full speed, never stop, never quit. You're the only one you got to convince that nothing's too far out of your reach. 'Cause all you are is what you believe. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
Well, Power not quite able to get it done against Team Liquid, which means that the Renegades will clinch their spot. Congratulations to CJ. We'll get to talk to him a little bit later. Not going to be joining us on the desk just now, but a solid match of Rocket League from two teams doing their best here. I'm Wavepunk, joined by a full panel of Rocket League experts. As many of the business.
You look at why are you laughing when you're looking at me when he says that?
Let's go, T-Base. Who you saying is an expert here?
Huh?
He was looking at me when he said that.
What's going on there?
I was looking at myself.
Okay, all right.
I thought I looked goofy.
He's like,
it was a miracle that Bates got here on time.
Bates, we glad to have you.
We kind of twinning right now a little bit.
You already
know
know.
what I'm
I
saying?
left my chain though, so it's okay. It's whatever. It happens.
Yeah, y'all looking good. My goodness. All right, well, let's talk about that match just for a second here. Power putting up their best effort.
I mean, Power, they looked good, but as is always the case with the OCE guys, good is not good enough when you come to the international stage. These teams have such high mechanical ceilings compared to what they come across in OCE. It catches them off guard. A lot of the goals for Power were breakaway goals.
I mean, and you got to feel bad for him. I mean, this lower bracket has been the most brutal lower bracket I can even remember, thinking of throughout history. To have Team Liquid a team, I ranked very highly and expected to go very deep. To be the first round matchup in the lower bracket, that is a brutal draw.
I mean, but that what comes with the format, double elimination format. As best teams in the world playing in London right now. Seems like Team Liquid, they dropped down, and all of a sudden now you got to play. Now Power has to go up against the ropes against one of the best teams in the world at the moment. So it's tough, but I mean it happens, James. You know what I'm saying?
It does, and I mean even if you're a gambling man, I don't know if Torsaz is, but you can even hear his interview. Didn't really have that much confidence coming out here. I mean, he's been to like almost every single event, and so you wonder at one point, will he ever get confident? Or?
I sort of wonder if that's his thing. Like as long as he kind of like doesn't hold doubt, as long as he doubts himself, he's gonna be okay. It's like he can try and play up to the standard he holds for himself there, because it's clearly working for him. He gets here over and over again, Greg, and just never quite able to get that win.
Yeah, I mean, the regions are very different, OCE, compared to what North America and Europe have to deal with. Less spots, and it's been a really interesting season for them. 3 teams competing for 2 spots. Yeah. Unfortunately for Power, it's not in their control now, but they could still make wildcard, and they're going to be watching now to see what Pioneers can do.
Well, let's move on through our bracket, see how things are evolving down there in the lowers. 2 teams eliminated here from the London Major. 2 more to go before we're done today. We got Endpoint versus Optic coming up a little bit later, but for now, we're going to be moving on to what I think is the marquee. Pioneers going up against BDS. Who would have thought we would have had this match round 1 rolled in the lower bracket?
Absolutely nobody. Nobody's expecting BDS to even be down here. It's like an anomaly. I'm like, what are they doing in this spot against KCP? And honestly, in the upper bracket, KCP looked like a, reverse. They got reverse swept by SSG, and that's so devastating. They looked so upset yesterday. So I think they're gonna, come back with some sort of force against this BDS squad.
We didn't expect to be introducing them to you here in this format, but for the first time on the mainstream, let's meet BDS.
My name is Extra, and I play for Team BDS. In this major, we hope to win the whole thing to have a very good preparation for the World Championship. This major is very important I think for every team, actually. It's a very good preparation for the Worlds. Still a bit nervous, of course, but that's everyone, I think, going into a major. I think we are gonna reach the top by being dedicated, hardworking as well, and a high motivation as well. So my role in the team is the captain, so I'm here to kind of help the coach do his best to keep the players mental up and help him see like the game plans and everything. I don't think anyone should be scared of us, like everyone should not underestimate us, at least, because everyone knows we're a good team, and we're here to prove it. Well, maybe the best team wins. If you don't want us to win, then you will see how it goes.
James, you heard Extra say it there, that they just sort of see this event as preparation for the World Championships. Did they maybe count their eggs a little bit too early?
Well, I want to say a bit of yes and no. Extra's the most humble interviewer I think we've ever seen, and I think that is really, in the big picture, everyone knows that this is preparation. That doesn't take anything away from the fact that this is its own event. I think a lot of people are putting a lot of weight on this event, knowing who is going to be the best team going into the World Championship, having that much momentum. But, there's still teams that are fighting for spots. And I mean, we were talking earlier, and I kind of felt bad for some of these lesser, well, I don't want to say lesser regions, but Europe, I mean, 2 spots at the World Championship right now.
Are you calling us a lesser region right now?
Just on paper.
Just mathematically.
Mathematically.
No. If you look at the bracket, there is a very good chance we're going to see a lot of European representation going into Saturday and Sunday. I think BDS are one of those teams where we've got to ask the question, can they step up to their normal form? BDS have been one of the scariest teams you've ever seen in the last 2 years. They had one bad day. They've had a chance to sleep on it. You can see they're all smiling, having a good time. They will be coming back today.
Well, I hope them smiles don't go away too quickly for your sake, Gregan, because I know that man on the far left over there, Extra's going to have to keep a close eye on him, Monkey Moon. He shows a lot of emotion super quickly. I know you know about that one.
Yeah.
Well, we have BDS ready to go on the other side of the pitch, looking to play upset. It's the KC Pioneers.
It feels amazing to make back-to-back majors, especially being so young. Being one of the youngest teams to be here just feels amazing to be meeting all these people. Obviously, there's not much expectations on us to win or anything, so a top 8 finish would be our main goal. But obviously, it's having fun. Just try and take it as lightly as we can because we feel that'll give us the best result. We're going to reach our goals by just scrimming top teams, which we don't usually get to scrim in our region. Scrimming these teams it's way different to our region. Obviously our region is one of the minor regions, so it's a bit weaker. And then coming here is like, we have to take a day to adjust to how much better these teams are. So yeah, these teams are miles better. But just the environment here is just, it's amazing. Just all having fun basically. Our team should be feared because we have an underdog mentality. We have no expectations on ourselves, whereas other teams have pressure built on them by fans and the public. We're just 16-year-olds having fun at RLCS land, and we know we can do what they can do. It's just if we can do it on the day. We have a mental coach who's been helping us mentally just prepare for the nerves. And then we have obviously our gameplay coach who's been helping us tweak a little things here and there just in our gameplay to try and help reach our goals. What I'd say to people that say we don't have a chance of winning is just watch out on Wednesday.
You hear him talk a lot about the underdog mentality. Raul, in your experience as a player, how do you approach matches where you fully understand the power that's on the other side?
Well, most of my career I've been an underdog, and nobody's ever taken us too highly. So you just go in, you have fun with your teammates. More often than not, your teammates understand the situation, and that's pretty much, you go out and you have fun and you play together.
It allows you to play at the level you expect of yourself because you're relaxed, whereas when you come in and you're expecting so much of yourself, every mistake you see will play a bigger effect on your mental. And I think that's really what we saw at BDS when they're up against Secret. It started to play on their mind.
But and honestly, though, despite that, the honesty perhaps from Scrub on the interview, you've got to admire the confidence as well. He said, we know that we can play to this level on the day. We just have to play on the day. And that's what I like to see is, you're realistic about your chances, but at the same time confident that you can do.
And Banana Head on the end there. He's that player you want to watch. He's getting better and better each time we see him, and definitely one of those up-and-coming OCE players of the future. And that's really the question here. Is OCE going to get better as we have more international events, or are we going to see the domination of Europe and North America against them continue?
Well, Pioneers think that they can play as well on the day. Today is that day. They're going to have to go through BDS.
To beat Pioneers, I think just play our game and play really fast will be enough.
Losing 3-0 to Secret, who are a good team, but if you're a #1 from EU, you can't be losing that 3-0.
We will win because we're not much better than them.
Their mental's in a horrible place right now, and their mistakes are a lot harder to fix than ours. Ours is just all in our heads.
I wish Pioneers good luck.
You're just not going to win.
Just not gonna win. Spicy words from the Pioneers lineup here. Let's make some predictions. Chat, let us know who you think is gonna take this one down. Hashtag BDS, hashtag KCP. I want to start in the middle here just to shake things up because I'm bored. Roll Diz. Who do you got going first?
All right, mentality. They were speaking a little bit of facts, but I think Extra, he's a good captain, great captain, and he's gonna bring it back. Monkey Moon, he doesn't like to lose, and I don't think he will lose this time. I got BDS.
Bates?
KC was saying a whole bunch of stuff in that whole entire time. I don't understand how everybody talk. They're talking about getting inside people's head and having a weak mental, having no pressure. They have pressure right here. If they don't win right here, then they don't go to Worlds, right? So the pressure's on them. They can act like they don't care, but they really do care. I know they've been talking trash to Power, and I know CJC's been catching some of that slack too. Casey's got plenty of pressure, and BDS, there was a little bit more frustration with them losing yesterday. And when they lost in LA, it looked like they didn't care. Because I think they knew they were going to get Seiko. But now they expect to win. They expect to really solidify that move. And I think they're going to do it today. And plus, since Bates picked up BDS yesterday, you already know they're going to keep rolling through. BDS.
Understandable. James?
I was talking with Jorby back in the green room, and he was saying, I give KCP 40% chance to win this series.
Jorby's delusional.
I thought he was crazy, right? Because you're talking about BDS. Yes, they lost first round, but Seiko and Monkey Moon are two players where a reasonable person could argue for them to be the best player in the world, the best Rocket League player in the world. So I don't see it happening. I respect the Pioneers, but BDS is just too good. I'm going with BDS.
3 letters, BDS.
KCP is also 3
you guys
letters.
have said it all.
Oh, listen.
Oh, yeah, 3 letters, KCP.
listen. BDS lost in a sweep. KCP got reverse swept. They almost beat SSG, and then SSG beat Secret. So by transitive properties, KCP is the better team. Give me KCP. Just come on. Let's just for fairness, just to give them something here. All right, folks. Let's see what you thought at home. It's a wow, very
that's
split down the
actually
middle.
wild.
That
That's
is
interesting.
maybe the lowest BDS has ever been in a prediction here. People don't like them in the lower bracket, but that's where they are, chat. Get ready. BDS playing for their tournament lives on day number 2. Did not think I was going to be saying that sentence. They're in the blue. We've got KCP in the orange. It's time to play some Rocket League.
Well, almost 50% of Twitch chat seem to have lost faith in Team BDS, but they would not have lost faith in themselves. They're up against the Aussies, the last remaining Aussie team, and I am with 2 Aussies myself. Yummy. First off, though, CJ, congratulations. You've made worlds, my friend.
Unbelievable. It's great to be here. The pressure's off now, so we can have some fun and watch some OCE. Come on, the Pioneers.
Let's go, Pioneers. It's be a bit biased, but no matter what, this is going to go down in history. It's either the moment that Pioneers qualify for Worlds, or it's the moment that BDS go last place. Is that possible?
Surely it's not possible. BDS, the team that I'd say most people predicted to be the winners of this land and have come out and didn't really perform day 1, but now could be their chance. Having said that, on the other side, as all of a sudden, it's happening.
It's happening already. CJ is cool. The potential is there right now for Pioneers to take this one. And in all seriousness, this is exactly the start they would have wanted. Scrub there, coming from the side and just getting the dunk. And the Team BDS defender having nothing to do with that one. I mean, Team BDS, they are a team that are looking shaky at the moment.
They were shaky all of yesterday. We saw Seiko missing touches off his own backboard, let alone doing anything at the other end. This is the moment that BDS could be vulnerable.
And on the Pioneers side of things, although they did get the reverse sweep, they didn't look bad. And speaking to Prof, their mental coach, he said that just game 5, they were really shaky. They weren't playing in themselves, so they can learn from that into the series.
But the big problem I have with Pioneers, this is a match for Worlds. They looked really nervous. Once they got to that position where they could win yesterday, they panicked a lot.
And they have to make sure they don't do that against this Team BDS, a team that if you begin to respect, they will just punish you time and time again. But they have history. Pioneers in LA, so close to reverse sweeping the old version of Team BDS, but Team BDS the same.
Banana Head. Oh, I love he's pulling out the mech already. He's got the dominance on, and he's the man. He's the man that Prof said he wasn't looking quite as hot in game number 5. And regionally, Yummy, Banana Head, he's the mechanical master, and he's the one that can bring it to Pioneer's side.
We scored almost all of their goals. He scored 80% of their goals yesterday, but that's not actually where we want Banana Head. We usually see him making big plays in the midfield, getting the flip reset, sending it past all those players and setting up Super Lucky. So that's what we'll really be looking for.
Great defending just there from Scrub as Seiko had a little edge dribble. They wanted to go over the top of Pioneers, but so far Pioneers' defending has been very good, and they've had large chunks of pressure and possession so far in this game as well. They've started it the better team, to be frank. And as this ball rolls towards Super Lucky, they look completely comfortable.
Yeah, they look strong early, and I think scoring that first goal, you can easily just turtle up. I know it is game 1, but so far, unless Banana Head can reach that, looking a little bit shaky. However, they're still pushing forward. They're looking to attack, and they're not being too defensive so far.
BDS are starting to look for some opportunities, though, and this is always dangerous, especially if they find that room for Seiko where he can make huge plays that I think Pioneers wouldn't be used to. I mean, they're playing in a region with CJ. They're not used to mechanics.
They've just looked not quite there of Team BDS so far, but that can change so quickly. All it's going to take is one decent goal. Monkey might make it happen here. Super Lucky, though, the reflex save. Seiko gets a flip reset, but can't get the next touch again. They're getting those touches, BDS, but so far, CJ, no goals.
Yeah, we talk about Pioneers' offensive ability, their mechanics, but it really is their defense and their goal line saves that have made them such a dominant team in the OCE region, and even internationally, we saw against Space Station, they just find saves out of nowhere.
They've got a lot of good styles, a lot of different styles, but one of them is just being able to make save after save in it and then going for the counter-attack. And we've seen that yesterday in the first 2 games. Now we're starting to see this in the first game against BDS.
And that's a play style that should be replicable as well. When they come here to this land, just being solid, getting your face in the way of the ball. But Extra can break through that up against Super Lucky. Monkey Moon has a chance to get a clean touch. Can he wrap around this one and shoot? It's 1 touch, it's 2. I think it's going in. And by Seiko it is.
Look at the poise there from Monkey Moon. He really is different gravy when he's on the pitch, and he showed that there. Look at the poise to pop it up, and that's an easy finish for Seiko.
You know Monkey Moon's got that. And ever since he came in, all the way at the beginning of RLCSX, the thing that he did that took down all the top of EU was to start slowing the ball down in front of net, and that's what he does right here.
What we're seeing, though, is that we are going to have a game on our hands as we expect, and I can't see this one being too clean for Team BDS if indeed they do end up winning it, but the pressure is all theirs right now. Banana Head, though, what a clearance that is. Super Lucky is there, and they counter so quickly.
That's what sometimes you need. You need that shot extra trying to put it top left corner, and that causes the counter-attack. Sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, and that's what it was there. Super Lucky finding the touch downfield. Great counter-attack.
Great confidence, too, from Super Lucky to be pushed so fire up. That's what we want to see at a LAN stage, what we didn't see so much in that first major that they went to in winter.
That's a great kickoff there from Pioneers, almost through to double up their lead super quickly. We saw the kickoffs from G2 yesterday in the reverse sweep against KC. Not quite there, looking like a really important part of the game right now.
And we still really haven't seen Seiko get warm. Obviously, he scored that first goal, but it was a tap, and it was all Monkey Moon, and I'm still looking for he's the man. He's the man they brought in to be the difference maker. He's a mechanical maestro, Cole, and we just need to see him start warming up in this event.
And what a difference maker is being released online. 2 regionals for Team BDS and a grand finals, but they have one heck of a team now that they're up against in Pioneers that are looking like they're playing with confidence. Only a minute and 7 seconds away from winning this first game. Team BDS still yet to win a game at this major as Scrub gets another touch into the center, but Seiko should be able to win this one cleanly.
Yeah, not an ideal touch from Scrub. He wanted it to go up, not out, where his teammates got beaten by his touch out into the center field. And this is actually going to give a chance over to BDS, but nothing so far.
Yeah, they're just flirting with it now. Look at Monkey Moon. He might be able to get the redirect. No Scrub. Great save on the goal line. But BDS, they are playing with their food in offense right now. KCP low on boost, and Seiko's going to try and drop it to Monkey for the solo play.
Well and good playing with your food, but you can only do it when you're winning. Team BDS still desperate for that goal and running out of time. Extra has to make something happen quick. Here's Seiko onto the backboard. Super Lucky just gets that all-important touch for the Pioneers. Monkey Moon's there in the corner, but still the ball does not go central.
They've managed to drain the Pioneers boost, though. This is a massive position for BDS with 20 seconds to go.
Extra takes a touch. He has to get things moving. It's not over the top of Scrub. Scrub has got in the way of everything that BDS have attempted. Super Lucky with the double attempt. Monkey Moon gets the save, but Team BDS need to do so much more than save it right now.
They've got a chance. BDS with 1 second on the clock. They have to keep this one up, and they're in their own half. It's looking like a Pioneers winning game 1 as it goes all the way the other end. Monkey Moon cannot get it through.
Wow, what a performance that is from Pioneers. They had the equalizer against them. Would have been so tempting, as you say, CJ, after going 1-0 up to Turtle. They never fell for it.
They didn't fall for it at all, and what a solid start. BDS, they've lost 4 games on the trot now, and this has to be panic stations. I know it's only 1-0, but they just have they've yet to find their form. They've yet to look, synergized on the pitch.
It's not 4 games on the trot. They got perfect swept to go out of the winter major. They are losing so many games in a row.
I mean, tell me, from what we saw from the Pioneers right there and what you guys know about this team, how are they appearing sort of in their mentality? They're quite quiet, they're quite stoic. Is that a good sign for Pioneers?
What I'm really liking to see is they are starting to show some mechanics coming out from Scrub in particular, looking for those flip resets. He's the one I'm usually seeing be a bit nervous and go further back. And it's great to see him do that.
Yeah, and with Pioneers, I think yesterday against Space Station, they might have delved too far into the trash talk, I think. Obviously they have Reddles and Arsenal on the other team, so you want to get into it. But I think once they dropped game 3, and, you start thinking to yourself, gee, we've talked so much trash, we have to win now, and then the pressure gets
That's almost the advantage of being against BDS, how humble and how quiet they are. It can be a more relaxed atmosphere.
They're quiet, and also it seems like they're in their own heads right now. This is a team that you do not have to wedge your way in there. You can let them make their own mistakes.
BDS, after they came off yesterday, heads down, didn't want to talk to anybody. They looked mentally spent already.
But this is the team that have won 2 regionals. We're going unbeaten after picking up the genius that is Seiko. This is a team that everyone else fears, but Pioneers don't fear. They're almost making them cause an own goal. Banana Head's team's in.
They're picking up where they left off from game number 1. The aggression's coming out, and we're seeing hesitation from BDS. They're getting some missed touches, and Seiko isn't really doing much on the defensive side there.
The Pioneers, they came into OCE as 15-year-olds, no respect to anyone, and they're doing it again. They've no respect for BDS in front of net.
When you're trying to break the big 2 in OCE, you have to be able to come up against teams that everyone's going to expect to win. The Power Renegades, almost dynasty. Pioneers, do you say, Yummy? They didn't care about that, and right now they're not caring about Team BDS.
Yeah, and the big question mark, obviously, is how's the pressure? This is for a world spot. Win this in their worlds. Right now, they don't feel it. They're looking strong. They've got the offense, and BDS are the ones where, it always felt like with them, it's not a matter of if, but when are they going to show up. But we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, this is so good for the fact that this is for Worlds. I was expecting a little more of a shaky performance, and I would say, we're still not seeing those big plays from Banana Head, especially from the back half, but is that more because BDS are challenging so early?
They are challenging well now in this second game. They have gone behind. They've made all the plays since then. As Extra sends it high, Banana Head, though, he's the first one there. Look at the speed from Super Lucky.
Oh my goodness, what's happening?
No answer right now from BDS. Extra with a slight mistouch. He was panicked by Super Lucky's pressure, and that's what you need. Send bodies to the ball, and they'll force mistakes.
Banana Head, Super Lucky, they're the wombo combo right now for OCE.
Looking absolutely quality, the Pioneers. They're actually growing into this series, despite Team BDS being a team that we expect to get better as the series goes on. Is this the moment they get it? No, it's off the crossbar from Monkey Moon, and Banana Head again gets in the way.
The defense again for Pioneers has been their saving grace so far. Scrub in particular has been absolutely incredible so far as Super Lucky tries to palm it out. BDS, they do get a chance to attack. Can they keep it in?
But this time they've kept the boost, Pioneers, and they should be able to go for some early challenges. No shot going to go on as BDS, they get cleared on.
Every infield pass, every shot is being blocked by Pioneers at source. I want to see some fakes from Team BDS. Maybe this is where they'll start to do it as it falls to Extra, who puts it high. He can't follow it though.
The thing that's impressed me most so far with Pioneers is their positioning. They're very aggressive. They're not just going default sitting back post. They've got that middleman in the midfield looking to cut it out, and that's something that you can always not do, but Seiko, there it is. Maybe it's time for him.
And finally time for Seiko to get into the game. Get in there right in front of net. And he cut off the line of Banana Head straight to the left of the net.
Lovely pass there from Team BDS. Team BDS getting themselves in the game, getting their heads in this game. Still an absolute ocean of time over here on Aquadome. 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and they can do pretty much what they want now.
BDS are going to be a team that'll never, cut their losses against a team like Pioneers. We saw that from SSG yesterday. I think the same for BDS.
Yeah, I know personally against Pioneers, they've reverse swept us before, so they've definitely got a good mentality, and that's a shout out to their coach as well. Investing in mental coaches is massive in Rocket League. I think we'll see more of it.
Super Lucky has Banana Head to his side. He's going to take a touch himself, wants to get past Extra, but Extra seems to have upped the pace himself. So now Team BDS closing down Pioneers at source themselves. Seiko to the side. Banana Head, look at the pace of Banana Head. Is that going all the way in? Where's the defense?
Where was BDS here? Who was back post? They were so slow to the ball. Obviously, Seiko taking up. That's another missed touch. You expect him to get two there. Pops it up, Banana Head, and that is as open of a net as you can get.
Why is he hitting it away? They're just laughing at them right now. Pioneers, well, not at them, but they're looking to each other. They're giggling. They're looking so relaxed.
So happy, and, it is that moment where we talked about in SSG. Are they going to crumble when you get so close to Worlds?
It seems like a different Pioneers from yesterday as well. We talked about the trash talk. They're just having fun within themselves. They're enjoying it as a team and not trying to, trash talk Monkey Moon, which I guess could bite you if he starts popping off.
I think there's also an advantage. BDS is such a big name, and there's goal number 4. BDS are a big name. BDS who?
What just happened? We've got this is terrible defense. We've got an own goal here, an infield from Scrub. Thank you very much. And Monkey Moon, of all people, puts it into the back of the net.
Is it time for Mickey Moon to come out?
Team BDS, they need a leader right now. They need somebody to step up and say, look, we are a quality team. When we're on LAN, we can do this. We've won the full major. What is happening? Scrub another attack. Extra clears it, but Pioneers, they're winning the kickoff.
It's as if there's 4 of them on the pitch right now. That was a perfect infield of Monkey Moon. I'm not sure. We don't really see that from him as one of the best players, if not the best player in the world. And right now, that sums up BDS so far this tournament. They just look shaky and they look like they're not trusting each other.
Oh, look at that flip reset there from Super Lucky. So much height on the ball. It's going to keep this Pioneers attack going. But now here's Seiko. They need something. They need it soon. He wants to get it past Scrub. But again, the defending from Scrub, he is everywhere that Team BDS do not want him to be.
They only have 2 minutes, and BDS don't look like they're really rushing anything at all. This is starting to worry me.
Pioneers just not taking a backward step. They're still pushing, and that's another awkward touch there from Seiko. They're not really looking confident in defense. Usually from BDS, they're getting that one touch on the wall. They're keeping it, but right now, they're just happy to get it out of the area.
A big problem with Pioneers and their lack of experience at the winter split was running back, keeping the pressure on once they got a lead. This time, they're showing exactly what you need to do against BDS. Keep that pressure on.
This complete lack of composure from Team BDS is shocking us all, but they have to get ahead in it right now. Here comes Super Lucky again. Extra is floating in the sky. Monkey Moon nips in there to get the save away, but just such careless defending.
More positional mistakes coming out from BDS. We saw again Extra completely out of position for an infield or a shot, and that's not something you usually see from Extra. He holds it down.
Hesitation. Where do you see Extra hesitate to go to a position? He wasn't sure whether to go challenge early or run back to net. He didn't do either and almost cost them a goal, and at this point in time, they need 3.
Almost looking like another goal for Pioneers there. More scary defending for Team BDS. Super Lucky is beaten by Seiko. But Banana Head, great positioning, a 50-50 against 2 of them. Then he stands tall against Extra as well. Nothing working for Team BDS.
It's almost like BDS have those dark memories from LA. Although they denied the reverse sweep, I think they're in their heads right now, Pioneers.
Oh, you were talking about playing with your food in the first game. Super Lucky is having a feast.
BDS! They're getting sent packing at the moment by Super Lucky.
What is going on right now? OCE region, if you're watching at home, get up and get loud because they are 5-1 up against BDS.
Again, this is to qualify for Worlds. This is the biggest series of Pioneers' life.
And also, if Pioneers win this one and keep going, we could have 3 OCE teams representing in Worlds as well. It could be an incredible day for the Aussie region.
This is a Pioneers team that everyone has come to expect. After LA, this young team, they play with such energy and they have such high mechanics, and they're taking it to any team on their day. Right now, BDS, they're looking second rate.
It's just such a fine balance between overconfidence and just playing to the best when the pressure is at its highest. And right now, Pioneers, they are completely nailing that balance. Let me just say this again. In Game 2, to go 2-0 up, Pioneers, smiling and laughing right now, win it 5-1.
It is a historical moment for sure, and this is now 9 games in a row that BDS have lost at LAN.
And I know exactly what Pioneers are saying right now. They go, what is it, BDS who? They're thinking, like, what? They're not showing up right now, and they're thinking, you know, 5-1 win. That was dominant, but now's the time. Space Station, what happened yesterday, Cole?
Exactly. This is where winner's tilt can start to come into it for Pioneers. Right now, you know, we talked at the start, no pressure, they're just going to have fun. They'll play their best because they're not feeling it. Now they really will start to feel it because the thought of we can win this is going to be well and truly in their heads.
The advantage is this was a much more one-sided affair in this game than it ever was against SSG. It was a smaller turnaround for SSG to come back.
Yeah, and the most impressive thing is when they were getting that lead, they were still looking confident and still pushing forward again. And they're not sitting back. They're not trying to rest on their laurels. They're pushing forward, pushing forward. They got 3-1 up. No, they want 5.
They want 5, and they're getting 5 as well. And what's impressing me is it's such a team dynamic for the 3 of them. Often when you see an upset like this, it's one player who plays the best series of his career, and you don't really see it again. But the 3 players right now, they're so in sync. You know, there's good defending from Scrub, Super Lucky with the monster dribbles. There's no weak link in this team.
Well, throughout the split, we've been talking about Banana Head, how he's got them here in the first place. We talked about Super Lucky at the last LAN as being one of the top 25 players at LAN, but it's Scrub, who we've often quiet about, and he's having a great series.
Complete team performance so far. You cannot look at one player or the other, and I just think that Super Lucky, particularly offensively, if we're going to single him out, has been a superstar so far, looking at those counter-attacks and getting those bumps as well. But this whole team, you can't put out a weak link.
Well, the strength of the G2 roster, the Queso roster now, Moist, who went all the way in the last event, was their ability to go for fakes, to slow the ball down. We saw that from Super Lucky right at the end there with that demo play.
Well, no matter how it is happening, however we have got here to this point, what is the absolute truth is that Team BDS need a reverse sweep to avoid going 15th, 16th in this tournament. That is just unfathomable, and yet it's our reality.
I thought you were going to say the absolute truth is that EU are at the bottom now.
Well, I think that is clearly the absolute truth. I mean, fair enough. I'll hold my hands up and say it. Team BDS, Team EU, what is going on? And what's going on is that Pioneer's just looking unassailable.
And in game number 1, it was Monkey Moon that was sort of the only player showing that poise. But then in game 2, he's scoring own goals. So who do you look to now to BDS to step up? No way off kickoff!
No! How is that?
Pioneers!
How is this happening? BDS off the kickoff have let it go sailing past, and Scrub's going to score in 2 seconds.
And I mean, they would have spent that entire minute or so talking things through, saying, you know, calm down, we've got this. In 2 seconds, that goes completely out the window. I can hear the other players right now sitting down and watching this one. They're getting louder, rooting for Pioneers. They're believing.
Worst case scenario possible right now for BDS. A kickoff goal, game 3, you have to win. This is a must-win to stay alive, to not come last, as you said, Cole. It is do or die, and they've lost it on the kickoff as Banana Head almost puts that one away.
So close. One more Pioneers goal could really affect the Team BDS mentality. That might begin to spell the end of the Team BDS attack, but there are 2 of the best players in the world, at least, on Team BDS. They can change things in a heartbeat, but we're not seeing it so far.
I feel like that's where we have to see. We have to see a superhero performance from someone on BDS. If they are of that quality on LAN, they have to show it right now.
Oh, and Scrub, that was probably the first bit of hesitation we've seen so far from him. Just backing off there, not being too confident. But if he does get that touch out and now, and Pioneers, they're looking to push out 1-0.
That's where that saving on the goal line playstyle can affect you if you do get nervous and start to hesitate in front of net. That's what we saw.
And he's known for that as well, Scrub. Talking to their mental coach as well, he's the man that sort of does get more defensive when the pressure starts building, so we want to look for him to keep pushing out. But still, BDS, they're not really keeping the ball. Seiko again throwing it away to Super Lucky.
There was a decent save from Extra though, just when it was looking like Pioneers might double up their lead yet again. And Monkey now on the backboard is going to have this one try and sneak its way past him. It doesn't. Team BDS having to do more defending, but their touches are quite working. Lovely first touch from Super Lucky. This could be 2. The flip reset and he's got directions in the crossbar, and there is Scrub doubling up for the Pioneers.
Super Lucky absolutely beating this flip reset, but it doesn't matter because he faked out Extra anyway, and there's the follow-up from Scrub. That's a great confidence booster. 2-0 Yummy, 2-0, and they're close to the sweep.
Super Lucky, the superhero of Australia. 2-0 now up against BDS in match point.
Having an absolute party right now down there. Here goes Banana, and he's going to the ceiling.
Oh
He's over
my
to mistake. Oh, monkey move! And Extra as well. The collapse continues.
You are kidding me, Banana Head. These kids are styling on them, these young fellas from OCE. They don't care who they're playing, it's BDS. Who?
You take BDS, you take the team, they're gone, they're off the pitch, it's 3-0 down, it's only been a minute and a half.
So far, OCE's best ever performance was 4th seed, or number 4 in Worlds, and right now this is looking like a really good day to be from OCE. You guys are absolutely buzzing right now for your boys. BDS is still dangerous to save by Scrum.
And the best thing right now is Pioneers, they're still looking composed on the face cam, so they're not getting ahead of themselves. It is 3-0, but there's still 3 minutes left. Anything can happen, they need to be composed.
Super Lucky tries to keep his composure right now. Monkey Moon closes him down. Scrub and Seiko, no 50-50 really falling cleanly for Team BDS, but they do have some pressure. They do have a little bit of territory right now, but one touch from Super Lucky breaks it 3. Look at the 3 of them attacking. They all steam
like
forward
a rugby
as well.
formation.
They're just the flying V at the moment, a scrub up the pitch, and Team BDS, they're not even getting the room to challenge, because as soon as they do, they might get demoed by one of the Pioneers.
I mean, this is looking like one of the biggest wins in OC history. How do we look past this? A 3-0 sweep against BDS, although they're not looking quite great. I don't want to jinx a Yummy. There's still 2 minutes 30 left.
Well, it is EU number 1. OC has never been EU number 1, and this would be a moment, but wow, you can't speak too early. Monkey Moon has found a counterattack.
And suddenly it seems like there is a lot of time left on the clock with this touch from Monkey Moon to make it 3-1.
Yeah, and it's the mental demons maybe now. I know we saw with Space Station. It is possible for
Why'd
Pioneers.
you say it?
It is possible to lose their heads. I don't want to jinx it right now. The boys, they'll learn from yesterday. That's what they're good at. They're good at adapting, and they're young. They're mechanical Yummy. I think they can do it.
They are very mechanical. They are the most mechanical team in OCE. They're the young team. They are the future of OCE. They've represented what OCE could become in terms of mechanics, and we'll see if that keeps going.
But I have to balance this love in just a little bit because Team BDS, they ain't too bad mechanically themselves either. Extra was up. Monkey Moon fancied a slice of that ball. Seiko keeps the attack going, but it's met by Scrub still. He's going to have some defending to do over these next 2 minutes. Extra's miss is going to slow them down, but Seiko's coming forward. They're heating up Team BDS, and that has to be worrying.
Yeah, a bit of scrambling coming around for Pioneers. However, there is only 2 minutes left, and you can sort of scramble your way for a little rough victory, but they want to keep pushing forward Super Lucky. And Seiko, again, not getting the best touch, not being able to follow up, and Scrub beats him.
This is where the pressure rises for Pioneers. They're 1 minute 40 away from Worlds. They have to hold on. Can they do it? Seiko's missed.
So close there from Seiko. Did they need that one to go in Team BDS? There's Monkey Moon, cleared by Banana Head. Extra comes in now, Super Lucky. He can't get any space. Monkey Moon's bumping him out the place, but Scrub, he can get the touch towards Banana Head. They survive again.
Yeah, the placement just isn't quite there right now for BDS. They need to be finding those top corners. Here's Monkey Moon off the backboard. It's safe, but put back down by Super Lucky. Still defends Seiko. Can he put it right? No! It's on the goal line and Scrub again.
Seiko can't buy a shot. He's hitting it over and over again, but the 2 posts in a row now.
He's trying again, that lovely 50-50. Monkey Moon's already up. He's so fast, but so is the defense there from Pioneers. Still 3-1, 1 minute left now.
How are they holding on? It's just the fingernails digging in right now for Pioneers.
This is what they've done regionally, though. They know how to hold on to a lead. We didn't quite see it yesterday with the reverse sweep, but right now, this is exactly what we've seen regionally. These kids are very strong in defense. Oh, I thought Super Lucky was a bit awkward there.
Extra needs to get this one to a teammate. Monkey Moon has to win this race, but Super Lucky again, so speedy in the air. To the ceiling the ball goes. Scrub up against Seiko. Pioneers are winning every aerial challenge.
BDS are in their own half. They've only got 30 seconds, and Pioneers are still pushing them to their very limit.
They want more and more and more. We said it before, 3-1, they don't care. They want more goals. It's Super Lucky. He's going to be able to catch these, and look at the composure. Being able to buy time, kill 10 seconds off the clock is massive.
He slowed it down and gave room for Pioneers to get back.
Scrub, one more touch there for Pioneers. Every time they send this ball forwards, it's another nail in the coffin of Team BDS.
Have they done it?
I think they may well have done. 6 seconds left. This has to go in from Seiko, but it's over the top. There's no time left. Pioneers, they're already celebrating. No one cares what this ball is going to do. Pioneers have done it for OCE. They've done it for themselves, and they've done it to Team BDS.
3-0, a sweep over the EU #1 seed, if you don't mind, and make Worlds. Could you script a better moment?
The 16-year-old Australians flying 30 hours across the world, and they're going to do it again. They're going to Dallas.
This is just pure joy from the boys there. An absolutely stunning performance, but the devastated Team BDS, They just couldn't deal with them.
And Heartbreak on the side of Power as well. Now not, they might be
They
starting-
can, they still
now
can.
looking- Actually, looking at KCP, they might be able to make a run and get an extra spot for OCE. That might be wishful thinking so far, but a 3-0 against BDS Yummy is a great start.
It's so interesting the way it works that after rooting for them to lose so they wouldn't go above them, suddenly Power won KCP
biggest
to win.
fans.
So there's a
Yeah.
third team from OCE. It makes no sense, but it does to them. It's just a celebration of a day right now for all of you guys.
At a major moment in Rocket League history, we see the emerging region starting to take over. EU #1 seed knocked out by Sam #2 and OCE #1.
I mean, BDS against the minor regions, they're just not showing up. And right now, as you said, OCE, this is a big day for the community. Shout out to the whole region, but also the talent desk. I don't think anyone got that one right.
Wavepunk
Did
did.
Wavepunk?
Yeah.
Oh, he always knows. He's a clever fellow, isn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't pity either. Wavepunk knew. He always does know. I mean, we're seeing some of these goals now from Pioneers. This was my favorite. Banana Head, all three Team BDS players. And from that moment, it just didn't seem possible for them to come back.
There's a lot of implications to
Look
BDS.
at that. Look at the celebration.
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't know what to do with his body. Legs everywhere, absolute limbs.
They're always they were hyped to qualify for the major, maybe even more so.
The most impressive thing as well is that they just kept pushing forward. You know, they didn't. We saw them sort of get a little bit hesitant, Scrub, particularly in game 3.
They learned their lesson.
But they kept pushing forward, kept trying to get that extra goal, and 3-0 BDS. How many times can we say it?
It's so difficult as well when you're on the cusp of needing to be reverse swept, having been reverse swept yesterday. I mean, surely that gets in your head, right?
Oh, 100%. But I think, you know, that kickoff goal in game #3,
That
you're probably
helps.
thinking, all right, now it's our day
Yeah.
for scoring that.
I mean, you see how devastated BDS were too. It meant a lot for them especially going towards Dallas, where they're thinking that they're one of the favorites to win both. And now they find themselves in last place.
Yeah, I just think now they're looking towards Worlds, aren't they? They already had that locked in, which is obviously, you know, credit to them for their season so far. But, you know, coming to land, and this is the event you want to play in with the massive crowd potentially. Oh, well, definitely a massive crowd on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
This is where you want to be, so they're definitely going to be devastated, as we saw.
They still haven't won a single game BDS in front of a crowd.
Haven't scored a goal in front of a crowd, Team BDS. So I'm sure that will change at Worlds. But I mean, I'm absolutely overjoyed for you guys. I
Yeah.
mean, you've been watching these players, this region, since the beginning,
been
right?
watching
And
them
it's come
beat
so
him,
far.
so-
Yeah, it's a massive day, and it was just, I don't know, I just had so much fun. It's just great to see Pioneers get the dub.
There's also be here with you, and I just realized something, Cole. Or backwards is bro. Let's go down to the interview desk to the bro ACES, where they're going to talk with KCP.
Yummy's been saying that all week. It's getting old, okay? It's getting old. Anyways, we are here at the Oasis, Orban Subi. We're standing here with the Pioneers, who just beat BDS. We feeling good?
Pretty good. No.
Pretty good normal day. Walk us through that game from start to finish. Yeah, walk us through it.
Well, I mean, we knew going into it, like, all the pressure's really, like, on them. Like, they expected to win this event. Like, they're best team in Europe, won major events in, like, Europe, came here. They're straight into the lows. You knew all the pressure was on them, so we just knew we had to play confident, put a bit of pressure on them, and just let them panic, and, yeah, got the job done.
You know,
yeah, go ahead.
And from a spectator's view, I don't know if you guys saw it on the field, but it looked like BDS had no third line out there. Like, they had, like, 2 players playing forward, and I don't know where their third man was. Did you guys kind of see that out there and you were capitalizing on it? Because there were so many goals where you just cleared the ball downfield and it was an open net.
That's just how they play all the time. Like, even last time we played them, and we just know that they don't like to defend. They just like to attack. So we just knew if we could get some good clears over their heads, we could just get some quick free goals off them.
So is it almost like, okay, let's weather the storm. We know they're going to have some offense, and then we'll have a chance to break out, but we've got to capitalize on those?
Yeah. I mean, we just, basically. I don't know.
I mean, you guys were getting hype. Obviously, there's no crowd here yet, but there's enough people to make some noise for sure. People were screaming, shouting, doing the thing. I'm really excited for Saturday and Sunday to see how that's going to shape up. But once you hit, I think, it was the first goal in game 3, right? That quick goal. Was that what solidified it for you guys that, like, this is happening?
Honestly, the whole time, like, I thought we had in the bag because they were just playing. I don't think they were playing at their best, and they just didn't have any pressure over us at all. So any goal that went in, it was like, we're just in full control of the game. So probably from like game 2, I was feeling really confident.
All right, so what's happening now, all right, for the rest of the day? Are you guys going to stick around, watch the last series we got going on? Is it back to practice? Is it celebrating? I don't know. What is it?
Definitely a bit of celebrating. I'd say we're gonna stick around. We're gonna watch all the other matches and just celebrate with everyone for sure. But we do gotta practice. We got probably a tougher match tomorrow in Moist. So if we win that, we can play in front of a crowd. So it's gonna be a big match for us. So we're really excited for that.
And I gotta know, is this the best moment in all of your guys' careers as far as like the emotions go?
Oh yeah, 100%. Nothing will come close to this. Nothing will ever come close to this.
What about winning in Dallas?
Yeah, that might compete with it. That might compete. But yeah, for now, this is by far the best moment of all our careers by a mile.
Love to hear it.
Absolutely. And just again, massive congratulations to you guys. Probably the biggest upset of the tournament, but you guys are looking on fire. And I don't think anyone's going to count you out anymore. You guys are looking so good out there. But for us, that's all we've got with the Pioneers right now. But don't go anywhere. We've got one more match for the day. It's going to be Endpoint going up against Optic Gaming.
We've all been here before. We've all been here before.
The World Championship is where the greats become legendary. It was bone dry.
it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focused, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment. Rise up, you give it all that you got and you rise up. All the stories that tell about the champion who came from the crown. Are you ready to carry it now? Going full speed, never stop, never quit. You're the only one you got to convince that nothing's too far out of your reach. 'Cause all you are is what you believe. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
In the supreme upset of the tournament, BDS, the favorite to win it all, has been knocked out without winning a single game, now on a 9-game losing streak at LAN. We have a crestfallen Gregan and a mind-blown house, the loudest the Copper Box has been so far this weekend.
It was awesome. We were in the crowd with the Pioneers family, and they were going crazy. We were all going crazy. Arsenal was the loudest person out there. He was going crazy.
They were meant to be the chosen one. They were meant to be our winners.
Show him what he brought you.
Yeah, I mean, Europe right now, in shambles, Bates.
It is in shambles. And now, finally, I know Gregan and his EU first pre-show, they cursed me. I had to pick a team. But now I don't have no contractual obligation.
They're gone.
Toodaloo! And now I'm back to being Bates. And you already know what that means. It's going to be nothing but great Rocket League from here on out and great predictions by me. But we got to say something. KC Pioneers.
Oh, man.
Oh, my.
My goodness, did they ball out.
Backs against the wall. They needed to win this to make the World Championship. And it's the hardest road, right? Or at least we thought it would be the hardest road.
It's the
And they made it
road,
look easy.
Easiest.
They made it look easy.
BDS has not won a game on LAN in their last 3 series. 0 for 9. 0 for 9.
And we thought the mentality was going to be a problem. It continued. And you could see the heads was completely down. And them boys at Pioneers, they made it a mission to embarrass them. Look at them screaming. The passion was there. I'm so proud of them boys.
They look so good as well. Like, the goals they were scoring were genuinely impressive, and the creativity they had on the ball, that's the big thing I've been worried about with BDS. They're not being creative on the ball. They're wasting the ball. They're wasting touches. They're looking like a team who's hard tilted, hard frustrated.
Yep.
So whatever problems they got there, let's hope they fix those coming into Worlds.
Yep, and then BDS in particular, the chemistry was off, especially in that game. They had game 3 in the last 2 minutes or so. They had the pressure. They had plenty of opportunities, but it was double commits, uncharacteristic mistakes by BDS. There was one time where Monkey Man went up high, double commit with Seiko. Monkey Man had a double committed with extra, and nobody started following. That continued on, and KC just took the momentum and took it all away, and now they're at the World Championship, right, Gabe?
Yes, they are. Pioneers will be there. which does not knock out Power. I want to make that clear just yet. Right now, we know Renegades and Pioneers will go for OC. Like, if we want to throw up the bracket, we can throw up the bracket and talk about it a bit, because Power wanted Pioneers to lose. Power would have clinched a World Championship spot, but they're still alive. But Pioneers got to make a top 4 run. Pioneers make a top 4 run. OC #1 will make main event, which would be Pioneers, and then Power would get into the World Championship. So now they are their biggest fans, Greg.
And on that note, all of the OCE teams have kind of been cheering on the opposition beating the other OCE teams to try and guarantee their spot. But fair play to Power. They were on the sideline there cheering on the Pioneer guys. They're the first on to congratulate them. They were excited to see OCE doing well, even though that result would likely knock them out of World's contention.
Still standing together there, and OCE Day is not an entire funeral. One massive victory here as Pioneers advance. Their reward is they get to play Moist tomorrow. Good luck with that. But we'll see.
Hey,
who knows? At this point, they beat BDS. We got one more unresolved lower round 1 match there. Endpoint versus Optic will round out our day. Both these teams we have seen perform so far at this event. How do you feel about the results from these teams, Greg?
I think Optic Gaming, there wasn't a huge amount of expectation for them, which is a good thing for them. They can come in and they can relax and try and play their game. They look solid, but they didn't look like a team that could go on a big run. And I think the same is true of Endpoint. Both of them not looking as strong as we know they can play, and they've really got to step up to a whole new level with the quality of teams at this event.
Yes, and I agree with that completely. These two teams,
They're both good teams. They're both incredible teams. Let's talk about Endpoint to start things off here. Relating Wave, Metanaris, and Archie. Here, Dragon, you predicted that all the English players would make it to the crowd. They got a long road to go. This team has the longest road.
Yeah, Endpoint is the toughest of the English players to make it. I think Metanaris, he wants to make it back to that crowd, get his name chanted again. But I do believe Endpoint have another gear that they didn't show on day 1. They got those jitters out the way, and they can try and step up to that level today. And it's really relating Wave. There's always a question mark around this team's mentality. When he's feeling good and enjoying himself, he looks like one of the best players in the European region. When he's not, we start to question where his role is in that team.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right, and with Wave in particular, I know he's a really solid player, but I think more so it goes a little bit towards Archie. I saw Archie walking around. He looked really cool and collected. He's even on his phone right now. I don't even know if he's phased about this one entire matchup. And I asked him in particular, because I think a lot of people put Wave, Archie, and Mist in that top 3 players going into this matchup. And Archie said, I'm better than Mist. Simple and plain. So I'm really looking for that matchup in particular, Raul.
Wait, what did you just say?
Archie said he's better than Mist.
Oh,
Archie said it. I thought you said it.
I thought I was about to say. Hold on, Mace. Hold on. But yeah, I do agree. Archie is confident in himself. He does think he's better than Mist. I think everybody's gonna have their eyes on Archie. He's off the ceiling half the time he's in the game. So yeah, eyes on Archie.
These people brought multiple jerseys to play in this event. They're so ready for this.
They're not matching.
See clips there wearing one too. But on the other side of the pitch, also bringing new jerseys. They're rebranded. First time we're seeing Optic playing in this event, Gibbs.
Yeah, we got Optic Gaming, and both these teams are very much alike because both rosters lost their best player, I think a lot of people would say. Like, Atomic is now off Optic, and obviously we saw what he could do at Winter Major. We all know Bates was talking about that a lot. But Optic Gaming coming in now. Drees is here, and he hasn't been the answer yet. Like, they barely made it here, but they want to make some noise now.
I mean, Turbo in the background as well, overlooking this team. I wonder what the dynamic is right now. This team has gone through some struggles recently. We've all been seeing a bit of illness and some uncertainties of what the starting roster was going to be. It was Turbo who was potentially going to need to sub in for Drees. Looks like they've gone with the original starting roster they started the spring split with. And Turbo is going to be supporting from behind.
And it's really interesting that Turbo is supporting from behind, because when you have a roster that they could swap out the coach for the player and vice versa, it provides a little bit of uncertainty, because now the starters aren't necessarily content, and they don't know that if their spot on the roster is certain for them. And when that pressure rises, you might even see a swap maybe in this series perhaps that really leads to a change in series.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I'm actually secure that Turbo being back there doesn't feel right in my head, and I think that if they do struggle, it's up to Alu to even replace somebody. He was the coach of the team at the beginning, and I think it's his job to replace somebody if need be.
Last time we saw him on LAN, he was called LAN Lucian. Drees was considered one of the top performers on LAN when he was playing for G2 at the full major. So both of them have that potential to pop off in the LAN environment. But the question is, can they do it together?
Well, Endpoint versus Optic Gaming. The players are ready to go. They had some words for each other before the match.
I think we'll win against Endpoint because I think we're by far the better team. I think we play a lot faster than them, which is already one of their weaknesses.
Optic's weakness is their offense and their ability to play together. They're a good team, but we can outplay everyone with our team ability and our compatibility as a whole.
You know, just playing fast, just outpace them, disrupt them. I think that's how we'll win.
I'd like to say good luck to Optic. I think they're good, but I think we'll beat them.
Endpoint, good luck.
Respect, but also confidence from both sides. Very confident that they can take the victory here, which means we need to know who you guys think is going to win. Take your votes out in chat, hashtag END, hashtag OG, depending on which sides you fall on this match. We'll just go straight down the line here, starting with you, Roll Diz. Predictions, Endpoint or Envy?
I'm gonna keep
Optic.
it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna keep it super simple. Love missed on the other side, but I really think it is a 1v3 right now at the moment for that team. Endpoint, on the other hand, you saw Relating Wave just talk about the compatibility and their synergy as a complete roster, and we all know my eyes specifically on Archie and his gameplay, and I got Endpoint taking this.
I disagree with Archie. Messi is clearly the better player. And I've been waiting to say this my whole entire life. Optic Gaming! I got to come away with a W right here against Endpoint. We're going to move along, OG. Let's go!
EU's really in danger of only having 2 teams in that main event, which is going to knock out a lot of World Championship hopefuls, and I think it continues here. I'm going to go Optic Gaming. I feel like Europe is not looking good throughout this event.
Greenwall.
So we're going
Come
Optic.
on, Greenwall!
See, when we're making predictions here, as you all know at home, we try and make the best predictions because we know who we want to win, we know who we think's going to win, and I genuinely believe that Endpoint are going to win, but my heart tells me other things, and something's pulling me the other way.
Pull him, Greenwall, pull him!
Tell me why. Tell me why they're going to win.
Because I drew this card earlier. That's all you got.
You give him Optic Gaming. Give me Optic Gaming, too. I'm rooting for a Carmine Corp Optic Gaming blue wall versus green wall battle, and the only way that can happen is if Optic wins this match right here, so I'm excited to see it. We got most of the desk going for Optic here.
Yes,
How
Optic.
did the people at home feel about this?
Let's go Optic.
Endpoint going to be the fan favorite by a narrow
Wow.
margin, though. What a world we live in here, folks. This is crazy. Let's get down to the pitch for the last match of the day. Endpoint taking on Optic Gaming. One of the teams advancing to tomorrow, one of the teams going home. Endpoint in the blue, Optic in the orange. It's time to play some Rocket.
For years since Metsonoris played in this very building and created one of the most memorable moments in RLCS World Championship history. If he wants to continue here at the Copper Box Arena, he and Endpoint have to break down the green wall.
They have got the weight of Europe on their shoulders right now. They're hoping that they can pull it through against one of the newer orgs that we're seeing. No longer repping Envy as your stay stacks, as T-Bates kept blabbing on about it's the green wall, and they are here to be that barricade.
The question is, can they do it here, right? As Team Endpoint, even though they're in the lower bracket, they've definitely shown signs of life, and I'm expecting them to pull on the show here. You already see Archie just cutting through the Optic defense as this ball's in the corner, play out, and that might be an open net. Shot will go through, and it'll be Drees with the first goal for Optic.
Taking it away to kick us off, Drees, that man where question marks have been raised historically, from the back line, sending it long within 30 seconds. North America continue their journey on top.
Not many goals for Optic in their series yesterday. Not many goals for Endpoint either, to be honest. See if both these teams can break out of their offensive slumps. Somebody other than Mist has to show up for Optic. So far, Drees, the early goal, the assist to Aleutian. And Alu on his way back to let Mist take over. Drees to his right. Drees lobbing one up for Alu, and Archie's right there for the clear.
We're hearing a lot about Endpoint really backing their cohesion, saying that they are the team where the teamwork is what makes that dream work. But this may well turn into a nightmare for them if Optic keep passing, keep finding each other as they have done. The defense, though, for Endpoint being stretched thinner and thinner with every play.
Some of those offensive plays have looked really well, but I've seen Archie cut through defenses as he tried to get a play right there. Metza will play it high off the back wall, and Drees will be there in time. Even with some of the strong offensive pushes we've seen from Optic Gaming, Endpoint have struck back just as hard on the counterattack.
Archie and Relating Wave trying to not quite win in their own backyard here. Yes, they are Englishmen, but grew up quite a bit away from the Copper Box Arena as Mist will try and set up one for Alu. And Drees coming in from midfield. He got beat by a mile by Relating Wave. Metsenoris, the only player yet to score at the Spring Major, could not convert there.
A fantastic opportunity as well. Just had to send it past that last keeper as the pass came in. But in the end, he comes in with his inaugural goal here in the lowers.
You see the speed. I mean, first of all, the control there. Gray 50 and Metsenoris finally getting involved on the scoring like you guys said. The amount of just accuracy on that ball and the pace that Endpoint had on that attack. That's the reason why we're all tied up.
With, may I say, one of the most beautiful goal explosions that we have seen recently added to the game. Imagine seeing that, seeing the shill. Mate, I can't, no, it's Endpoint.
He's more biased than me on an NRG cast, my God.
I don't
It's going to be a long but look at that. It's Alu with the strike, top right corner to give Optic the lead.
Endpoint again having to play from behind as Optic don't let him celebrate equalizing for very long. Still over half the game to go, but Optic much more in sync offensively than they were yesterday. Not really much of a surprise. They're going to have those opportunities here in this matchup as Mist thought about it but realized Archie had him beaten. Here comes Endpoint quickly downfield.
More pressure. This one gets sent over to the side. You see Archie just kind of struggling there. Good touch from Wave. But of course, Mist, lots of eyes are going to be on Mist today. Was huge for Optic's success, even though they ended up dropping to the lower bracket. When they did show signs of life, it was mainly behind the curtains of Mist. Can he keep up that performance here? They're holding on to the lead right now, but you can see Endpoint, they're looking for a way in.
Endpoint is not a team that has had a lot of success playing from behind in this spring split. Ever since adding Archie, they've had a lot of their success when they score early and often. Metsenoris dumps one back in. Archie's there. Relating Wave coming in. Three-man play on the works. This will drop down. Metza was there, but Drees a little bit faster. Now he'll throw under the backboard. Archie can't get up there, and Mist could not score either. Golden opportunity missed there by Optic, but they do score. Nobody got a hand up.
Endpoint, where are you existing right now? That is Optic smothering the entire blue half. Whilst there was nobody from Endpoint, Drees can rotate in nice and freely, can get the tap over the line, clearing Optic by 2 goals with only 2 minutes left, as it makes it a bit more nerve-wracking because you only have 5 games maximum to win here.
And you've seen Endpoint really, show a lot of speed and good control on the ball when they're on offense, so it's a shame that they end up having that defensive misplay on their own back end. They really got to get things together here, just try to figure out what Optic are doing and get more involved in the front. Look at this, Relating Wave. There's a shot into the top left corner. Wave brings this within 1.
Relating Wave trying to smash down that green wall, Metza to the ceiling, and as it descends, he is there to send it right back behind Alan.
We wondered if Metsenoris would get a little bit of help after that early goal. He gets his first, he gets the assist there as well as Relating Wave gets in on the act. And now Alu over Metza. Archie's got to race back, and he does clear off the backboard. Drees not able to center, and Metza waiting to see what Mist does. And he just could not keep up with the play. Here goes Mist, numbers advantage. Drees to his right, and Relating Wave swats it away. No follow-up as that goes harmlessly to the corner, but a big demo there by Alu, taking out Archie, going for the corner boost, trying to pinch in front, and Relating Wave. Big muscular defensive effort there to stop Optic from adding to their advantage again, and Archie with a save that keeps Endpoint alive here in game 1.
You're seeing a lot of offense come out here from Drees and Alu. Again, they were very, very quiet last time we saw Optic play. Now it seems like not only are they coming alive, but we're starting to see glimpses of, I'd say, fall major Alu here on display, and that could be a very dangerous position if you're Endpoint. You want to be able to kind of control this, kind of go back to what people were saying, like this may be a 1v3 here. No, it looks like everybody has shown up in game 1.
Optic, such an interesting roster, and Alu's there to get the 1-2. The third will not be his, but Mist is able to secure. And again, that rotation so close, just the trust in Alu to get that past every defender, the double flip reset, and Mist in those opportunities can send it bottom corner. Clear by 2, looking like game 1 goes the way of North America.
Unless we have some kind of Mickey Mouse kickoffs here out of Optic. We've seen that's been a big point of emphasis with RLCS teams lately and how not to do kickoffs, but Optic keeps Endpoint off the board. You saw they pushed forward, and Optic picked him apart.
Oh man, look at this. Beautiful work here for Drees. Gets the flip reset, pops it over Archie, and Miss with the follow-up. It just looks so fluid here for Optic Gaming.
He absolutely flung that towards the net and says, I've done my part, you do the rest, mate. Sink it, get us 3 lead. 10 seconds remaining. Optic Gaming, relating way before the game started, said they don't have it. They don't have that cohesion. They are not the better team. Relating Wave, you may well be wrong, and if that continues, Europe is in a very tough spot, not just in this series, there is so much riding on it. If Optic end up winning, that means that the EU 4th seed, i.e. Evil Geniuses, they will not be going to Worlds. There are so many implications in the series. It also means that Moist, they will be clinching that Worlds main event, which is a win for Europe, so we're currently at 1-1 in that. Otherwise, Dignitas, if there's an Optic win, will no longer make that Worlds main event. They will fall to the wild card. There is everything on the line here for North America, not just in this tournament, but going forward to Dallas.
We saw Metanora's first goal of the Spring Major. They're going to need a lot more out of him to slow down Optic, as Lucian and Optic Gaming roared back with a vengeance after that game was tied up 5-2, the dub in game number 1. And now the key for Optic is to keep their foot on the gas. They cannot let up. They cannot relent here and let Endpoint get any semblance of breath or any kind of foothold in this series, because we know as well as anybody, Endpoint, once they get the ball rolling, it is tough to stop that snowball.
Yeah, I mean, when we've seen, Archie especially, right? He's the big factor here.
Yep.
Coming in to this split, he replaced Seiko on Endpoint, and now he's looking to make sure that that was an impact decision that works out in that team's favor. We've seen signs of life from Endpoint with Archie, but he also needs everybody else behind him as well. We've seen it like we saw in the game 1. Metanor stepping up, Relating Wave getting involved. Just like Optic need to be cohesive as a team. Endpoint is pretty much the same thing with them as well.
He's the one man that everyone said could replace Seiko, and sure, they've done well to get here. You need to close it out. BDS did well to get here. They couldn't close it out. Moisture in the lowers as well. Europe, we're molding. We need some good news. Aquanome may well be the place where we see Endpoint even it up, but they need a bigger performance than we saw in game number 1.
Oh, Drees, good infield pass to Lucian, and he almost tucked that in on the top side. Mist will follow it up, and Optic take the lead early.
Do you see the work here? The pass mid. Drees tried to do it all himself, but missed there to get the follow-up. That Optic pressure to start things off. They are feeling it as a team.
The cameras, showing them laughing, showing them smiling, missing that bottom camera, listening to the other two, having a good time. The vibes are there. Optic, they're clicking together. How do you shut that down when you've got someone on the backboard out of nowhere? Do you have to what? Just pretend that you're able to get in the way of that ball? Alu again going for the shot, sent to the backboard. This is time and time again. The pressure, the attack, the close shadowing for Optic is a blight on Endpoint.
And I'm saying wow because that turn from Alu was just so quick. We just saw him rotate out, and I mean that aggressiveness and confidence is so important to see from this team. They're showing offense that I don't think we've seen for a while, but they got to be careful on defense there. You see Endpoint, they're looking to try to set something up there. Archie trying to leave it for Wave. Wave has the flip, but the touch is a little off, and the ball going to the
I mean, $1 million move, but a 10-cent finish. They could not actually put the ball anywhere on target. Everything's up to the backboard. It looked like a Harlem Globetrotters layup line. And now Mist, his shot just off the bar and in, and Optic doubles the lead.
Sometimes the simplest solution is the one you need to do, and Mist sees it hits the ground, and that man just hits it hard.
Off the crossbar and in. Beautiful setup. Great shot. Like you said, you don't need to do anything flashy here. And I think Optic recognized that. They just have to play their game. It's working out so far.
Lucian not directly involved in that play, but he's had his fingerprints all over a lot for Optic Gaming here. Metanoris on target this time, but missed with the save, and Alu will try and spring Drees downfield, but that's a good ball played by Relating Wave, and Archie to find Metanoris. You know, the longevity of Metanoris and Lucian in their career has been incredible. Archie will get one back for Endpoint with 3 minutes left.
I thought Metza absolutely screwed that play up, to be completely honest. They got one touch to second touch, none of them really on target, and Archie comes in, sweeps it to show them how it's done. Endpoint getting a goal on Aquado.
Yeah, they get one here, and you got to think, we've had 3 goals in the first couple of minutes. Endpoint, it does seem like they're starting to settle in here, but it also, on the other side of things for them, they haven't really found an answer to Optic's offense. They've just had a good counterattack of their own. Need to see a little bit more from them if they want to get back into this game.
Some incredibly confident pre-jumps coming out from Optic as well. They have the read on Endpoint. It's like they just know what they're going to do.
They got him downloaded.
Reading. They do, they really do.
This goes out to the wing, and relating wave, looking for Archie, instead finding Illusion. And now Dries will try and show him how it's done. Got missed way in the air, but he won't follow it up. He had no boost. Dries will try and keep this alive. He got nudged off the play, but can still stay with it. His shot's high and wide, and still sent back by Metza.
You got to be really careful here. If you're Endpoint, Optic are knocking at the door. They've been very close on some of these drives. But as we're at the halfway point of this game, still a 1-goal lead for Optic. Miss trying to make that 2 as that goes off the ceiling. Dries with the speed test, but a little bit too slow. And we'll see again Alu trying to keep things in front.
The boost game has been critical for Optic so far in this series. Endpoint in this game in particular, a lot of zeros up there in the top left. They had a couple there as well, and now Archie can just clear this out, and that will be a big reprieve for Endpoint as they can maybe finally get some boost if Archie can find any.
Archie finding the simplest solution there, sees the ball, absolutely smacks it back to the orange half, wants none of that nonsense in the blue side. Again, on that backboard, sends it actually just behind that player. I thought Ali might be able to get a shot out, but instead it falls to Optic regardless. It falls nicely for Dries, go for a shot, flip reset, but it's not for him. He played Faker.
And look at this, the team play, the level of trust here on a play like this. You see Dries with the touch out, doesn't try to go for anything else because he knows Miss is in the air. The follow-up, extremely quick. Optic, super effective on the offensive drive. And I mean, I feel just about as stunned as Endpoint right now with what I'm seeing. A minute 30, and Optic are up by 2.
Well, to something like 3 goals in the entire series yesterday, and they've got a bucket full now. As Optic continues to run up the score, relating wave can't connect. And now Archie through the corner, got one on target as he slipped behind the defense. Endpoint back within 1, just over a minute to go.
The goal explosion, potentially a ray of sunshine for Endpoint and European fans as a whole. The quick turn in the corner sends it directly towards the net. It is something that Endpoint need. With a minute remaining, Optic still leading by a game and a goal, I suppose. They don't want to be staring down, having to get that, albeit minuscule, reverse sweep.
What do you do when the team that you thought you had figured out comes out with something you've never seen before? That's the question Endpoint are trying to ask in the final minute. As time ticks down, they need to create some of their own opportunities as they're looking to keep that pressure. You see that shot out. It's a good save by Dries.
But why was the pass not there? Metza was completely unmarked. He could have hit that towards him, got a shot off, made it a bit more threatening, but no, he goes for a simple shot. Sometimes you do need to be a bit more creative, especially against this Optic.
That's a Norris, good win there to keep that ball available, but Dries and missed. Better just by a small margin on the defensive effort. Relating wave got to start from his own back line now with just over 20 seconds. And a good play made at midfield. Now Metza coming on, beaten by Dries again. Dries has stepped up in a big way defensively now. 15 seconds left. Miss trying to power one through. Metza Norris doesn't have any options. Final 10 seconds. Miss looking for the dagger in game 2. He'll throw another up to the backboard. Another time-wasting effort. And it might just work out. Metza, Archie, somebody's got to take charge. And now relating wave, it's all desperation for Endpoint with no time on the clock. And Metza doing all he can. He's at least given them a chance. Archie at midfield. Got to get this to the side with nothing in the tank, and that's been the bane of Endpoint this entire game. Not enough boost to do anything at all, and they fall by 1 in game 2.
Optic rotating, and quite frankly, being very greedy hippos, stealing all of the boost pads around the pitch, removing any abilities for Endpoint. The amount of times, if the camera was on, I was like crouching down, being like, what are you doing, Endpoint? Why aren't you going for that ball? It's because you look, top left, there's nothing. And the defeat on their faces is something that we do not see from Endpoint very often. Typically, you know, they might take a timeout, they might be able to work past it, but you do not get that luxury when you're in these best of 5s. And the vibes on Optic are, in a word, immaculate.
I mean, when you look at Endpoint here, they're definitely going to have to lean on Eclipse because I think that they did have a set play style kind of figured out based on what we've seen from Optic over the course of this tournament, but Optic have clearly figured out something that works well for them. Now, when you look at things going into this game 3, Endpoint's backs are against the wall. They're going to really need to come together because you are right. There are things that we've seen from Endpoint when they're on the offensive end that are just very questionable. Sometimes they have the ball. You're wondering, okay, why is this pass not here? Sometimes if you see double commits on the back end on defense, it just feels like they're not working together. It's just they are so stunned that they're losing to Optic that it's making them make some questionable decisions.
Literally relating Wave's talking point was we have the cohesion, we have the team play, and yet Stacks, we're just not seeing that. Optic shutting it down so effectively, and Optic, they're about to ruin many European lives here if they secure the dub.
Oh boy.
Well, Archie, Lucas, and Otto have to figure something out here. Endpoint on to their last life on DFH. As Relating Wave got one out to Metsonoris, and he can't move any further downfield. He was on his way back, so Archie's got to take charge. Trying to get around Alu. Not happening. And that's just been another theme. Not much has changed from game 1 to game 2, and now
except for that car.
the early stage of game 3. Well, new car. We'll see if it's a different result in the grand scheme of things. Nothing netward for Endpoint.
Mets have played very well in that car previously. I remember him hitting a couple of clips. Hopefully he's going to be able to, and they won't lose a series, and he won't be hitting Eclipse.
Yeah, hopefully so. We'll say that much. Right now, they're trying to get things under control here. Endpoint start off with some decent offensive pressure. You see Meta off the ceiling. He's got 0 boost, so that ball will end up going away from him. And now we'll see Relating Wave try to pick this one up. But again, Optic in that midfield, looking for an infield pass towards each other. I will say, for the start of this game 3, it's been fairly quiet for Optic. It seems like they're just letting Endpoint bring the ball to them, and then they try to play the counterattack. There's a shot there, and it's Alu with the first goal of game 3.
The counterattack, so effective every time we've seen Optic do it. They wait for their moment. They're sitting in the cave, striking like a moray eel, and Optic are the team that are able to shut Endpoint down time and time again. And Endpoint behind, it just is not going their way.
All 3 games, Optic has scored first, and very early on, Archie trying to make that save. They're running along the back wall. He didn't have any boost, and nobody had anything to work with here. Mist will score with a little bit of interference downfield, and Optic are cruising in game 3.
That is cruel. That is cruel, Alu. Chasing down Metza, sending him netward. No chance for a save at all. Optic, my word.
It feels like they finally figured it out. And at the right time, too. What we're witnessing from this Optic Gaming squad is what you kind of always wanted to see. Everybody playing to their strengths. You almost saw another goal there from Alu, just barely off target. Now for Endpoint, as 2 demos happen, they have a lot that they have to try to get in control, and not a lot of time left. They're down by 2 in the series. There's 3 minutes left in this game. They need something quickly if they want to even think about a reverse sweep.
So often we talk about European teams having that home field advantage the same way we talk about NA on North American soil. That has not been the case here at the Spring Major. Relating Wave trying to change the momentum. Now Archie lining one up, and Alu with the save there. Metza hard out of the corner, but it's Dries. Downfield all along. Relating Wave just barely got there to keep Endpoint within 2.
Oh man, you should see Stumpy
Anybody
right
home?
now.
Yes, there is.
Stumpy is having a hard time.
I'm happy and I love this series. This is great, and I'm having a good day.
Listen, what we're looking at right now, I mean, when you see Endpoint on the offensive press, I mean, it just feels like, okay, something you would just expect to be a shot. They take it into the air, and it feels like they want to try to do a little bit more, maybe, you know, show off the mechanics. They just honestly just need to put pressure on and keep accurate offensive shots on. Not too much more to try to just get past the Optic defense, but I feel like they're taking away they're taking too much time. They need the offensive press as that one goes all the way downfield. There was a dunk there by Miss, but the play still dissolves in the corner.
The side-by-side comparison of Bates and Stumpy right now would be comedic gold, as Dries got bumped away from the play there by Archie just a little bit, but still stays around, and Miss just beaten out by Archie, who's putting in a lot of effort now, trying to get Endpoint back from the dead.
The final 90 seconds, Endpoint needing something to materialize. They need to draw up a plan, and they need to stick to it religiously. Devastating ball flying in front of the net, but now Archie in the corner with not too much boost. Does find relating way with 50 going midfield. Boost would, but Archie, as it bounces midfield, isn't able to get to it. Can Dries slip in? Not quite. Archie to intercept. That's nice. The interception is finally going the way of Endpoint because Optic have been so aggressive. They've shut down everything. They have been a nuisance. Metza trying to be a nuisance this time. The bumps, the demos, anything. In the final 60 seconds, this is do or die.
Oh, that's a good one there, though, from Archie. And again, they just can't spring anybody downfield, Daz. It's just time and time again. Optic are so much faster in midfield, and they almost put it away there.
Yeah, that was close. I mean, you can kind of tell just from how the pace of play is looking. Optic have everything going for them, but when you look at Endpoint, it just feels like they're playing catch-up. Everything seems rushed, out of control. Look, they're 50ing each other on the sidewall. They need, again, just more cohesion there as a team. Some of these bounces that they just can't read, and with 30 seconds remaining, they only have so many drives left. Metza trying to get it here, and he does with the flip reset. There's still a chance for Endpoint.
Finally, something goes Endpoint's way, and it is Metza in the Gordy Mobile. Alu isn't able to get a save away from it. There's 24 seconds. Endpoint, all of those blue fans need a chance. They need that hope, and that is the ray of sunshine. Metza in the corner. Can he continue his God's work?
Oh, he's been the guy, but now Relating Wave has to make another miraculous save, and he does with 15 seconds left. Dries watches Metza go by. Opportunity, Archie turns away, and Relating Wave could only get a demo. 5 seconds left. Dries for miss.
My goodness!
And another European team meets its Endpoint.
Oh my gosh.
We did all that for that?
In a sweep, Optic Gaming send Endpoint home.
At least they've not got far to go.
Well, 2 of them.
Unbelievable. That is an Optic that we truly have not seen.
No, we haven't.
They look like such a cohesive team. Whereas Endpoint, on the other side of things, were not playing to their standard. Nobody in Europe has played anywhere near their standard. North America absolutely stepping up. Before this weekend started, we had so many questions about Optic in particular. Why is Turbo not playing? What is happening? Why did Dries arriving late? Illnesses plaguing them throughout the season. Maybe that was the only reason. Maybe that is why we only saw them come in as one of the lower seeds. But they've done it. Optic Gaming, phenomenal.
And Turbo definitely, I talked to him earlier on today and yesterday. He was ready to play. He wanted to play. It seemed like, hey, if they make the call, I'm there. We know that we've seen him in the practice room early on some days. But that being said, Optic were very confident in the roster that they put on the field. And my goodness, did they show it. And now, like you said, I mean, this matchup, if they won, had so many implications, and they have won. So,
Evil Geniuses no longer going to Worlds.
Yep.
Sorry, lads. That also means that Moist Esports have clinched the World's main event and Dignitas. They are not going to be in the World's main event. They are heading to the wild card. Optic playing spoiler to the entire continent.
Yeah, I think maybe the most important scenario is Optic Gaming advances into another day here at the Spring Major when things looked so bleak for them after their series yesterday.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a brand new Optic has arrived here, the green wall in full force, just trying to get to the days with the crowd because we know Optic's fans, they may not know anything about their Rocket League team yet, but they will show up, and I think that's what this whole team is kind of banking on.
I agree. I think, especially with seeing their performance on the field today, I think even if they don't know, they're quickly finding out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the players that are representing Optic on the roster are quite the ones to cheer for as well. They put on a show today, so we'll see if they can make it to the crowd.
I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with Optic. There have been, even when, when they were Envy, etc., there were so many question marks. Why just couldn't they make it work? With that roster, why was it just not clicking? And now on LAN, the 3-0 over Endpoint in the lowers, completing the slew of 3-0s that we have in our lower round one.
How many teams are left in the bracket? I'm just trying to...
I'm trying to think. Are there any at this
Actually,
point?
how? 2? Is it 2? Oh, it's 2.
I'm sorry.
Woof.
I want to go home.
You are home.
You
I hate
kind of
it.
are home. You know who else is home? Our boys down at the Oasis are home. Our boys at the desk are home. Everybody's just kind of waiting. Just get our ugly mugs off the screen. Let Stumpy go grieve in peace.
Stumpy, you're already home. You can't go anywhere. You're here for all this. We're here back at the Oasis, Orb and Subi, standing here with Optic Gaming. Yesterday went the way it went. Today, you guys looked a lot more comfortable. Is there something especially that clicked here?
I think it took us like a series to warm up and click, but yeah, I think that's
So you guys are fully warmed up now, ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I mean, you guys obviously didn't perform well yesterday. I think you guys had much higher expectations, but backs against the wall, I think that's when you guys perform best. It's kind of like, okay, time to get to business. But did you guys have that confidence that you were going to take down Endpoint in a sweep, or were you concerned that they could take you guys out?
After the Moist loss, we were pretty confident what we had to fix, and we talked about it. And coming into this match, we were really confident, especially against Endpoint, one of the weaker teams. So we were really confident going into it.
Now, Dries, listen, you got Turbo standing over your shoulders, guiding you. How much does that help to have his experience there?
I mean, Turbo did say to bump.
We got a laugh coming in for Turbo. Huh?
I mean, I'm just the hardest thing about me is just having. I don't know what pose I'm supposed to have as a coach, like this or like this. I don't know.
Maybe come up with a new meta, new coach meta, new stance. I mean, maybe get a power stance, kind of something like this over your players' shoulders. Just, you can do whatever you want. You're 4-time.
Sorry, Dries. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Turbo came in with the big calm saying to just bump Mets because, he wasn't really, aware of his surroundings, and it actually got us a couple goals. But, yeah, I mean, that was a huge calm, but I think he kept us cool, calm, and collected throughout the series.
I mean, you've been playing with the team now for quite some time. How do you feel like you guys are coming together and playing together? Is it improving every day?
I think, we've only been playing together for a split, and I think we've improved faster than we thought and exceeded expectations, especially qualifying for the major. But, yeah, I think we're playing good.
Playing
back
good.
in the
Yes,
day,
they are.
and I don't want to bring it up, I'm sorry, Orb, he used to play for G2, but he got stolen away. But I don't know if you heard, I would always call, please, more Dries. I mean, I've been a fan of you since the start. I've been a believer since the beginning. What does it mean to have two players like this that just have the experience that can, kind of follow your path and your mechanics and help you along?
I mean, you got double tap miss and you got land Lucian. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Hey, and I love this whole time they've been laughing, giggling. I mean, this is just so much fun for these guys. It's so good to see that, well, he's been kind of just chilling the whole time. He's like,
he's the mastermind guy.
The master. Oh, okay. So tell me, why are you the mastermind?
I have no idea what he's talking about. But we prepped well as a team, and we performed today, so that's all that matters.
So what's happening now, all right? You guys taking the day off. I asked the previous team that. Are you guys chilling now? Is it celebrating? What is it?
I think we're gonna chill for the rest of the night, maybe go to team dinner, and then just prepare for tomorrow against Team Secret.
I love it. Big prep. Big prep.
I wanted him to feel like he was at a press conference, with all the mics in his face. You ruined it. No, it's all good. But that's it here for day 2 down at the Oasis. I hope you guys like how much we've been watering down here. We're getting everything green for you guys.
We spared no expense, as you can tell. We got 3 plants.
It's growing. But today we sent home 4 teams. Luckily, you guys weren't one of them. You guys are continuing on. Tomorrow we're going to send home 4 more. But you're going to want to make sure you're going to tune into it. But today's all wrapped up. So let's go back to the desk to put a nice bow on it.
Optic felt completely at home in the Oasis, given all of the green.
Yeah, green wall.
Yeah, green
You
wall,
have it
green
upside
plants.
down.
It's always it's.
And Gregan's a genius. Oh yeah,
sorry.
wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're so happy, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know which way his card is.
His cards are the pain.
Oh yeah, it's Optic Gaming, right? Yeah.
Okay, but give me talk to me actually about this match from a Rocket League perspective. I mean, was this just a one-sided match? What happened with Endpoint?
You want me to break down a team playing as they can play and a team not playing as well as they should, and that's what's been happening a lot for the teams in this tournament. The ones who are getting knocked out are just not playing at the level we know they're capable of online, and that is so true of Endpoint there. The touches just weren't there, giving away the ball, rushing touches, being caught alone in defense a lot.
And that's 3 majors in a row now for Mets and RSN Wave that I felt like they did not compete at the level that we've seen through online regionals. So they're going to have to figure out something. They are going to the World Championship and even the main event, very likely, but we'll have to see. But Endpoint right now, not looking good, Bates.
Tell us about how Optic Gaming played so well in that base. I really want to hear your breakdown.
Regan, listen. Listen, I'm here to break it down. Let me take something that you said. We know they're not playing as well as they can, as well as they are capable of online. Reagan, this is LAN, baby. You gotta be a LAN boy. And there's a reason that Optic Gamer took a W. Where's the camera? You got Lucian. That's number one. You got Duries. And then you got Double Tap Costello. And then on top of that, you got the Green Wall. And of course, Optic Gaming comes out on top. Greg and they're looking like straight onliners. It doesn't matter what seed you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody going home early, besides Casey.
Hey, look. One thing Europe is good at is having a good crowd. So at least we've got that on our
Let's
side.
go,
right, guys?
Europe! Let's go!
They're not really going to have anyone to cheer for, man. I kind of even believed in Wave when he told me.
Whoa. That's the difference between us and you guys is we cheer for everybody.
Oh, well, you're going to have to this time. 100%.
Because you don't have any option.
You're all going to be packing your bags.
I just love that you wrote Lan Lucia in.
Yep. Yeah, put an
We're
emphasis
sticking
on
with that
the
one.
Lan Lucian.
Let's look at the bracket, how things sit after 2 days of competition. We have knocked 4 teams out of Landon, and we're going to knock 4 more out tomorrow. The upper bracket still waits for action later than what we have coming up tomorrow. FaZe versus Furia, Team Secret versus Optic, Moist versus Pioneers, G2 versus Liquid. It's a lot of bangers here.
Yeah, disappointing series, though, for all 4 teams eliminated today. They didn't win a game this entire tournament. All 4 of them went 0-3-0-3, so that's unfortunate. And that includes teams like BDS, who were the favorites to win this whole thing, even though Bates would say otherwise. But we'll see the schedule for tomorrow. We got Moist and Pioneers, Optic, Team Secret, Furia, FaZe, Liquid, G2. These 4 matches are, if you win, you will play in front of that amazing crowd.
Who said in the schedule? Do you want to see me cry, potentially, if G2 loses? You must want me to walk out of this building.
Hey, it was liberating earlier having a little cry. When BDS were out, I just let it go on camera. It was great. Trust me.
It doesn't seem like you've
still
accepted
crying.
it yet because
It's important to embrace your feelings.
Tonight.
Let your
let it
emotions
out,
flow.
and I'll come back tomorrow, revitalizer. Some of these teams, we thought that was going to happen today, but unfortunately they didn't revitalize. And as you said, none of them winning a single game. And I think that really just shows the pressure of LAN. And I don't think we speak about this enough at these events. It's such a different environment for these players. You can see the emotional effect of playing in front of not just a crowd, but your teammates, the people here. There is a mini crowd here. I know it's not going to be the crowd that we're going to see at the weekend, but you're playing in front of people, and there's a lot more people watching, a lot more money on the line. It does put a lot of pressure.
Absolutely, and the pressure doesn't go away, Gibbs, as at every single event. You think that they get used to it, but I think for many of the players, this is so difficult. As we're looking forward to tomorrow, they're going to have to buckle down one more time, one more possible chance to be eliminated before the crowd shows up and put it on the show.
And those are going to be heartbreaking series because those teams that lose those series are going to feel terrible. They want to play in front of the best crowd in all of esports. We've seen it here 4 years ago. We're going to see it here again. It's going to be amazing. So all 8 of those teams playing tomorrow desperately want that win.
I want to ask you, Rolders, what was it like when you went to your first LAN and playing in front of a crowd, playing under pressure? How did it feel on LAN?
It was exciting, a little bit too exciting. I might have had to clean my underwear a couple times, but you know, that's kind of is what it is. But these kids are professionals, you know what I'm saying? And they might be wearing the little diapers under. What? Come on, man.
This is why he retired twice. He's an old man.
Facts, clearly.
Yeah, I need my brew juice.
I got the cane and the dentures here. Folks, it's been a day. We've had some crazy action here. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, as we prepare for tomorrow? I mean, Bates, we're knocking 4 more teams out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. I do believe tomorrow will not be 0-12 in games or 12-0 in games, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah,
I don't think
today.
this is probably arguably the shortest day of RLCS broadcast ever. Somebody's got to stack check that. I don't know. But all I know is that tomorrow's games and then leading up to Saturday, it's all building up to this beautiful crowd. I know you can see the background kind of is all blacked out right now, but it's going to be amazing here in London.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully, for EU's sake, actually no, because the only EU team left down there is Moist, and I can't be picking them.
No, Liquid. Moist and Liquid.
Yeah, but they got to go through G2.
Ah,
Oh, I see. The only team that's got a viable chance in your head is Moist.
No, I think Liquid has a chance. I forgot about Liquid's down there. That's my bad.
Against G2? You think
No, Moist playing G2.
No. I think Liquid has a chance.
Oh,
against
no,
G2.
they both play G2.
Yes, I think Liquid has a fair chance.
Eventually.
Fair chance against G2.
We know the schedule, folks. I promise.
Yeah.
Rolders, any thoughts for tomorrow?
I mean, I'm just excited to see. I was talking to Chronic down there, and he was like, "You think we have a chance against G2?" And I'm like, "Chronic, come on, you gotta have the confidence." So I talked to Noli as well, and I'm like, "Noli, you gotta spit. Like, you got 3 teams left. You need to coach every single one of these teams. Talk to your players because your region is falling apart. Noli, it's on you. The back's on you. Noli has the best mental in the game. I'm excited to see tomorrow."
Man. Yeah, Europe is is not in a good state right now. This is the worst they've ever been in Rocket League history right now. This is now 2 majors in a row that they're underperforming. There's still hope. It could be an all-EU grand final. There is still a shot at that, but I think a lot of people are not picking that right now. EU, you got to figure it out before Worlds, and you got to figure it out in 3 days here.
It's a statement of how dominant Europe has been, that there's also a chance of having the first ever grand final where there isn't a European team.
Exactly. It's the first?
Yeah, there's they've always been there.
Always a new time to rewrite history.
I remember sitting in the crowd of Season 3 in LA with 2 European teams on the stage, and there was a little woo in the crowd. But no matter what happens here, it's going to get loud, especially with Falcons out here. We've taken Falcons in.
Not going to accept them. It's going to be under EU team. They're going to ride Falcons all the way.
Just because we're Europe doesn't mean we can't embrace the people who are near to us.
Here he goes.
We can be the EMEA region now.
Right now,
Europe and Middle East.
Before we close it out, I got to ask you, does the EU team from the lower bracket make it out tomorrow?
Yes.
It's a confident yes. That is the least confident Gregan has ever been in making that statement. Folks, it's been a wild day. I hope you guys are ready for the action we have in store for you tomorrow. 3:30 p.m. BST British Summertime. That's when we will get the pre-show started with games beginning at 4 p.m. I'm Wave Pong. We have so many wonderful casters here that are making the show possible. For them and for the production crew and for the players, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
The World Championship is where the greats become legendary.